claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys?
Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
The sound, no sound. Hold on. We'll fix it. Wait a minute. We shall fix it. Okay. All right. We should be ready to go now. Are we ready to go? Give me that thumbs up that we're ready to go. Okay. There we go. Thank you. And thanks to Brian Walters already, who wasted no time sending in a super chat already with, of course, the sticker that says hiya. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it. Anyway, we are out here At Hialeah Park, there he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Sean Stanley. Come on out here. Meet Sean Stanley. Meet the man that puts together this platform every single day. Yeah. What happened? What? Bo Camper did. Oh yeah. By the way, I got hit on my DM a couple times about Bo Camper. I don't know what he said. I have no idea. Whatever. I didn't hear it or whatever. So I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, I don't know what it was. I asked someone. I said no, I didn't hear it, and he goes, I couldn't. I think he said something like, I have to check the DM. I think he said something along the lines, I'm not exactly sure what the shot was about. Also, I think he put, not sure what the shot was about. Okay, so I don't know. I don't know either, but whatever. It doesn't matter to me. Hey, listen, we're on their minds. That's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good. Bo's a good dude. I'm sure he's just busting balls. Big O, bags are packed and off to Chicago tomorrow. There you go. Damn right. Did you take a bulletproof vest, by the way, since you are going to Chicago? Be careful. Don't go out on the streets too much. Lightfoot is kind of light on the law there. So be careful over there in Chicago. Okay? Just saying. Sean, did you have a nice birthday dinner, they're asking? You did?
Yes.
Yeah.
Got me some lamb, got me some churrasco, got me some. I ate well.
Okay.
Took a while, but it ate well.
Okay. There you go. It took a while, huh? Okay. Yes, I would imagine. A painful while. Yes. That's the south side, not downtown. Not downtown. Well, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I've seen them at the, what's that called? The Loop or something, or I've seen some stories that even out in downtown area, they're kicking cars and people going by and they're damaging cars and things like that. I don't know, bro. I don't know. That's not one city that's got their stuff together. I'll tell you that. All right. I'm sure there's a lot of great people in Chicago, but the people that are running the city aren't necessarily doing a good job. I know enough people in Chicago that they'll tell you that themselves, that they're not necessary. There are people in Chicago that will stay away from going out in their own town now. Okay. So just be careful. That's all I'm saying. Be very careful. That's it. Let's see. And Mike Honcho says, hello, Fins fans. It's a good day to be a Fins fan. Salty Tua is the best Tua. So, yeah. Heard Bo this morning with Rose. Didn't hear any shot about you or the show. Bo did take a shot on Austin Jackson having a mystery ankle injury. Okay. All right. Next year, despite what you say, going to sell you on going to Kansas City road game next year, could broadcast from there and cross over the bucket list with grilled wings. Yeah. Listen, if we don't have a home next year, which I expect us to have a home next year for the show, we're going to find a permanent home that will be there for years to come and build it all up. By the way, we're giving away a pair of tickets for the Heat and the Portland Trailblazers on Monday. Yes. You want to win a pair of tickets for the Heat and the Trailblazers on Monday? It's really simple. Go to Instagram, follow red.recover on Instagram, and use the post hashtag Big O Radio Show. All right. So follow red.recover on Instagram. Use the code on the post hashtag Big O Radio Show, and you are automatically entered on our Dolphins post game on Sunday. We will announce the winner. The folks at Red Recover, which, of course, Red Recover, proud sponsor of our program, they are giving away these tickets. So there you go, a pair of tickets. Now, you will need a Ticketmaster account. All right, so when we pick the winner, we got to send you the tickets through Ticketmaster, because this isn't like the old days where they, physically hand the tickets and That kind of stuff is gone nowadays. It's all electronic. So make sure you also have a Ticketmaster account because you will not be able to get the tickets if you don't have a Ticketmaster account. So you want to enter to try to win a pair of tickets for the Heat and the Trailblazers. See a little Dane Lillard coming to town. They're playing well. There you go. Go to Instagram, follow red.recover, post there, use our hashtag Big O Radio Show, and you're automatically entered. And we will pick one of you as the lucky winner to get the tickets. How about that? And Nature B also giving away over $100 gift basket of Nature B products, including that amazing plant pollen. And if you want to enter there, you follow Nature BNZ on Instagram and you tag a friend. Use the hashtag Big O Radio Show on that post. And you and your friend are entered into that drawing, and we will give that away at the beginning of December. So 2 lucky winners will win a prize pack of over $100. And wait, there's more. Saturday, join us at Walk-Ons in Kendall for our pre- and post-game show for the Canes and the Seminoles. And if you join us then, guess what? We give away prizes every quarter. Perdomo prizes, Caneswear prizes. I mean, you can't ask for more than that, man. So come on out there. We're going to have some beer tasting, all that kind of stuff. So join us at Walk-On. So prizes galore all over the platform. And who knows, we might be giving away maybe some Dolphins tickets, some Heat tickets as the season goes on. You just never know when it's going to happen. Okay? There you go. All right. Pair of Heat and Trailblazer tickets. We got the Nature B giveaway, and we got the giveaways at Walk-Ons in Kendall on Saturday night. Is that enough? Is that pretty good? Is that pretty good? There you go. Plenty of chances. Big O, what would you do with the $1.5 billion Powerball money? When does that go off? Today? Powerball. Today's Thursday. Is it last night that it went off? I don't know. I know what I would do. Okay, I wouldn't retire the show. No. I mean, Sean and I would have like a more relaxing show because it'd be a lot less pressure on us. But we would take the show to another level. That's what we would do. Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. So nobody won it yesterday, I guess. Is that true? Nobody. So I'm not sure. I didn't follow it, so I apologize. Okay. Why? What's wrong with the sound? I thought the sound was fine already. I guess Big O never went outside in the 80s when Miami was number 1 in crime. I always was out in the 80s all the time, my brother. All the time. All the time. Okay? But, what do you want me to tell you? It's not a fact what's going on in Chicago? I mean, is that how you do it? You deflect it by choosing another bad time somewhere else? Come on, man. And by the way, most of the stuff that was going on back in the 80s was organized crime. So it was usually drug dealers killing drug dealers. There wasn't really as many innocent people getting caught like it happens in Chicago practically every day. Every day in Chicago. And by the way, this is like for years now it's been going on in Chicago. This isn't like something that went on like last month or two. It's been going on for several years now in Chicago. Chicago's got a gun problem and a crime problem like almost no one else in this country. Those are the facts, man. I mean, you want to dodge them, you can go ahead and dodge them. But those are the facts. Just read the stories coming out of Chicago every single day. It's the same. You know what? It reminds me of the same thing of, when some of the hip hop fans take a little personal when I've talked over the years, not because what happened now with Takeoff, but over the years that I've talked about how we got to stop with gun crime in rap. I mean, it's the only genre where we're constantly killing our artists. That makes like 0 sense. 0. By the way, there's 40 people in that Takeoff incident and nobody's talking. And Quavo was there, right? So he should know. Yeah, they showed the guy with the gun. Now, you can't tell if he's the one, if there were other guns, and if he's the one that shot Takeoff or whatever, but it's a shame that there's 40 people there, and that's why this continues. It's sad, man. Sad. Like we've talked before, it makes no sense whatsoever. And I would tell those guys, bro, go to a casino, man. Gamble your ass off in a casino. Don't go in the streets where that's the kind of shit that's going to happen, man. Sad. There's plenty of casinos. Takeoff could have gone to any casino, play the dice game there, have some fun, play craps, win, lose, and leave. Happy, healthy, and either you won or you lost. That's it, but you don't lose your life. And that's the problem. This happens to anybody and everybody that gets out of a tough environment. Okay? And it doesn't matter if it's the trailer park, if it's the barrio, if it's the hood. When you get out, you need to stay out. Because when you go back, it sucks you back into that environment that those people are not looking out for your best interest. Ever. That's why I've always said famous people need to go out with famous people because they have as much to lose as you do. It's sad, man. It's just one of those things where you just wish it wouldn't happen anymore. And it's a constant problem. And I saw Jamel Hill come out and we got to talk about this. We got to come forward, all that stuff. And it's all well and good, but nobody comes forward. And nobody stops this kind of stuff. And again, you got to stop making the bad decisions of hanging out with the wrong people. The second you get out of a bad environment, don't go back in it, man. You've got everything to lose by going back in it. Try to get others out if you can. If you can help friends or family members, I think that's a great thing. Everybody goes through tough times. If you have some friends or family members that can help you out to get out of those tough times, that's a blessing. It's a shame. It really is. Oladipo out another month. Look, at this point, to be honest with you, I didn't read that. Is that what was reported, that Oladipo's out another month? At this point, Oladipo doesn't mean anything. And you're a fool for depending on that guy already. That was over already. That was over already. With this injury already, that's it. I don't care what I need to hear anymore. I already know what Oladipo is, unfortunately. He's a broken down athlete. And he no longer can stay healthy. And he will never be that guy again. That's what we got to stop with Oladipo. Whether he's out a month or not, whether that is true or not, I don't really care. But Oladipo is not a guy that you should count on whatsoever. Nice game yesterday by the Heat. That was a big shot by Tyler. Lowry came through. Strus hit a big three. Bam also helped out with some really nice passes. Got a nice score too. Also driving to the hoop. Closing out that game. That was what they needed. With Jimmy on the bench, not being able to play, what was it, the hip or something I think he had from the night before, and not having Jimmy, it's not going to be as easy. I think Eric Reed mentioned that they were 15-10, I believe, last year in games without Jimmy. So at least that's pretty cool that you were able to get it done and find a way to win. But big shots by Tyler and a couple of other guys down the stretch that once the game was tight and and it could have been anybody's game. I got to give all those other guys a little love because they really helped out in closing out that game. What are you going to say?
No, I was going to say, Windhorse said, I don't think he's anywhere close. Sad to say. They haven't put a timetable on it, but I was kind of led to believe that ain't happening in the near future. So, not sure. That's from Brian Windhorse.
Okay. Yeah, Oladipo's done. Oladipo, if he comes back, he's a complimentary piece off the bench. A guy that you hope you can use a little bit or something like that. But put it this way. With Oladipo, all you got to do is hope you can get whatever you can out of him. That's it. It'll turn out to be another bad contract along with Kyle Lowry's terrible contract. That's all. And so these are deals that you just got to wait it out, and you got 2 years left, this year and next year on both deals, and then you can get the hell out. The good thing is that the Depot and the Kyle Lowry deal are cap space ones next year. So you can unload those two guys for cap space and maybe a disgruntled star somewhere else, because that'll be $41 million, or I think it's like that, right? I think it's 30 and 11. So it's about $41 million that you're going to have with those two players next season as expiring contracts. They will become sexy at that point. But I would tell you as a Heat fan, stop caring about Oladipo. Stop worrying about Oladipo. Stop thinking that you have to depend or you need Oladipo. If he comes back, great. Whatever he does is gravy, but he is not dependable, and he's not the guy that's going to bail you out of anything anyway. So all those dreams that you and I had, that Oladipo can find his way back and kind of find his form from the past and all that BS, none of that is ever going to happen. Okay? You can tell that his body no longer can hold up. And that's it. Does Chubb takes Roberts' spot? No, he plays more on the outside than the inside. Is probably what you're going to do. You'll play Roberts on the inside is what you'll do. Let's see. Oladipo is Dion Waiters 2.0. Basically, yeah, I would say that makes a lot of sense right there. Jason G. Stephen Ross likes to tamper. Can you get in trouble for tampering with your own players? Maybe he lets Byron Jones know of a few great investments should his injury will all of a sudden heal up. I don't know. Big O, what's your thoughts on Jeff Bezos and Jay-Z buying the Washington team? That'll be fantastic, dude. Better than that guy owning it. You've got to get that guy out of there. And those are two powerful people. They both have a crap. Well, Bezos definitely has more money than God. And then Jay-Z obviously has made a fortune already. I would love that. Now, something would have to happen with Rock Nation. Guess who negotiated Chubb's contract? Rock Nation. So he would have to divest himself from that if he becomes owner of the Washington Redskins. Somebody else will have to take over Rock Nation. He can no longer be a part of it. That would be, one of the things. But I mean, it'd be more important for him to own an NFL franchise than Rock Nation. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that's a decision that Jay-Z has to worry about. That's when the Jay-Z says, let's go. That's easy. I'm going to own an NFL team instead. But I would love that. Anything to get that guy out. You can't have bad owners, man. You can't have people that sponsors and fans are not going to align themselves with. That's detrimental to the league. So Dan Snyder has to be eliminated one way or another. And you've got to find, and those right there, those are two excellent candidates to take over, man. I love it. Rich Eisen, Bark Scott, Mike Greeny, Colin Cosworth, Sims. I have listened to these guys pick apart Tua. I started to bash some of these guys. Rich Eisen, I don't think was a Tua basher. He was, and I know I have no idea. I haven't tracked everybody. Somebody's going to have to confirm.
Everything I've seen on Eisen has been positive. I mean,
Positive,
Sims
right.
is definitely,
Sim-
Bart
Scott, Greenberg. He doesn't know sports, bro.
that and he's Jets. So
I mean,
he's gonna not like anything AFC East.
Really, dude, Mike Greenberg. You're listening to that opinion? Seriously,
I guess Colin,
Mike Greenberg.
I guess I'm supposed to be
like if one of you, we're talking sports, and you tell me that Mike Greenberg said this, you lost me right there. You just like lost me. All right. Some guy sent me a video yesterday on Twitter on Colin, and it's like, yo, dude, do you listen to the show? Do you watch it? Like, I don't care what he said. Don't care what he said about Tua. I get it. There's a lot of people that were, and let me tell you something. Like today, I had fun with Mike Lombardi, right? Because he's been a clown forever. And I know he goes on Joe's show and all that stuff. I don't know how many times they bring him on or whatever. That's one of those segments that I just turn off. Lombardi, because that guy's been fired from every job in the NFL. And so he has this podcast of his, and obviously he has a name because he's been in the NFL for so long. So a lot of people end up listening to it, I would imagine. And somebody sent me this clip of him and so I just retweeted it with a whole bunch of smiling faces because these are the kind of people that I'm going to go after. I'm not going after the Tua guy that was, I don't know, man. I got to see a little bit more. That's fine. I went after the people that gave it like it was the law. They were convinced that he could never play and that he could never be a quarterback and he's too short and he's got a noodle arm. And those are the people that I want to attack. Those are the people that I'm going after, and I will go after strong. Because, and here it is. Brian Flores won't be unemployed for long. He lost his job over a QB that can't play. Some organizations don't understand what it takes to win. See, the problem is, this reminds me a lot of John Gruden. John Gruden was given this title of QB guru. And then I say to everybody again, name the quarterback he developed. And that's where the conversation ends. He never drafted and developed his own quarterback ever in the NFL. Ever. Okay? And this is the same thing as this guy. This guy never built winners. This guy doesn't know. This guy knows as much as you do. He just hung around Belichick and other people that he worked for, but he never, ever became like ever in that league. That's why. So when you go after him like that he can't play, then those are the kind of people that I'm going to crush. Because I knew that was wrong. Just like the guy that says he's too short, I knew you were wrong. Just like the person that said noodle arm, I knew you were wrong. And just like the person that said he's lazy, I knew you were wrong. And the person that says he doesn't, work hard enough, I knew you were wrong. Or that he's not smart enough, I know you're wrong. Or that he only can read one read guy, I know you're wrong. So those are the people that I'm going after. The ones that came with absolutes. Those are the people I'm going after. I'm sorry? What were you going to say? Oh, you got it there? Oh, yeah, you can play a clown's clip. Well, what ultimately happened, Michael, because let me fill you in since you don't know jack shit about what actually went on in there, since I'm really the only one in the media that actually knew what was going on in there with Brian Flores. Brian Flores was a guy that didn't get along with anybody. And by the way, he also has a terrible eye for quarterbacks, just like Bill Belichick and just like you do. And by the way, let's just get to that point already with Bill Belichick. He got lucky with Tom Brady. He's not a guru either. Okay? He hit the piñata with the stick and it busted. That's about it. You know who's good with quarterbacks? Ron Wolf. Okay? Give me the guy that can pick quarterback after quarterback after quarterback. Now I know you know quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? But we got to stop already with labeling Belichick like the GOAT because he found the quarterback. Yeah, he got lucky. He got lucky. That's all. He got lucky. It happens, dude. You know, you got lucky because obviously you can't pick him again. See, Bill Walsh drafted Joe Montana and then said, oh, wait a minute. That Steve Young guy, you don't want him? I'll trade for him. That's an eye for quarterbacks. I don't care what he looks like in Tampa. I know what he's going to look like with me. Let's bring him over. And sure enough, the lefty kicked ass in San Francisco and won a Super Bowl. Ron Wolf, let's see. Where do we start? Brett Favre, Mark Brunell, Aaron Brooks, Matt Hasselbeck. I mean, it's your quarterbacks. Oh, I'm sorry, Kurt Warner. He also had in camp. Yeah, that's knowing quarterbacks. Andy Reid. Yeah, he drafted Pat Mahomes, but he also developed Donovan McNabb. He made Alex Smith play the best football he ever played in his life. He made Michael Vick play the best football he ever played in his life. He made Ty Detmer useful in the NFL, a guy that couldn't throw more than 10 yards. Quarterback guru. And that's we go out and we put these labels on people so quickly, and then we don't really look at what's going on. Okay? So let's stop saying that Belichick knows quarterbacks. Let's stop calling John Gruden a quarterback guru. And please don't make Mike Lombardi Mr. GM, because he ain't that either. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say you can check out that on Big O Twitter page. Some were saying they
Big
couldn't
O
hear
Show.
the sound. Big O Show.
Yeah, you can hear
page.
it.
You can hear it there.
Go on Twitter, and it's there at Big O Show on Twitter, and you can see the cut, hear the cut, and laugh at it yourself. Orlando started watching. I'm 20-30 minutes behind. Heard the Bills GM say they might be exploring adding Odell Beckham. If I'm Greer, I'm trying to sign him just to keep Buffalo from signing him. I'm not. You can go ahead and do that, my brother, but I'm not. I'm not bringing a guy that could be a. Look at what's going on right, Nelson. Let's take a step back, bro. Let's not be a fan now. Okay, I get you're being a fan and you're thinking about the chess match and the war and all that shit that goes on with it. Now take a step back. You have Waddle and you have Tyreek. We're already, not me, but a lot of people are killing Cedric because he's not like tearing it up. And do you know why? Because the number 3 wide receiver on the Miami Dolphins is like 7 people. Because the ball is going to go to those 2 guys constantly. Those are your number ones. Those are the guys that can house it at any time. So if they keep getting the ball and Odell's sitting there with the rest of them waiting for a little piece, he's going to complain. If you bring Odell in and you start giving him a workload and you take it away from Waddle or Tyreek, so you don't want to create problems. And Odell Beckham, he just creates problems. I don't care what his talent is. And he's also unreliable. And then you're going to then have to cut another receiver that's a role player. and he's not a role player. So all of a sudden, you now add a receiver that can't help you out on special teams. You add a receiver that is not going to be like Craycraft and Sherfield, waiting for their opportunities, and they're happy running routes where they're not catching the ball a whole bunch of times. That's not going to be Odell Beckham. You gotta come back with me to reality, Nelson. It's not a good move. Right now, the Miami Dolphins don't need him, and you don't want to pick him up just to put him and keep him away from somebody else to then create a problem in your locker room, because that's what it's going to do. Okay, what are you going to say?
No, I was going to say, not only that, but would OBJ want to come here and be third fiddle?
No.
I mean,
he's not going to be happy.
It's gonna,
yeah, I'm not.
It's great you want to go out there and sign him, but
yeah, I'm not signing that dude. I'm not bringing that guy on board. Yeah. No, I'm not doing that. Big O, you convinced me about Tua. However, I'm still concerned about him getting injured. I like Skylar's upside over Teddy. I would hope Skylar's second string instead of Teddy. He will be next year, Jason. That's what it looks like. They're not going to do it this year. Teddy will play out this year, and then Teddy will go on to another team. They'll elevate Skylar and save themselves a lot of money by doing that, because now they will pay a quarterback practically nothing for 4 years. So that's pretty cool. And they get to develop him, and you never know. It could turn into a draft pick or two down the line. Now they've got to showcase him next preseason, because, Tua will barely play, because that's what you do with your starter. And so if Skylar goes out there and balls out in the preseason again, it's kind of like that Matt Hasselbeck thing. They drafted him, and then he kicked ass sitting there behind the bench, and then Seattle, Miami said, no, we got to have him. And Seattle gave up the first rounder. Miami offered a second. Big O, when Clayton and Duper were the two big receivers, did the Dolphins have a solid number 3 receiver? Sorry, I was too young. Yeah, Durio Harris, Jimmy Cephalo, guys like that alternated being the number 3 on that team. Yeah, they always had a solid 3. They always had solid tight ends, whether it was Bruce Johnson, Hardy, Joe Rose, guys like that. Then they got Keith Jackson later on, who was just an absolutely dynamic tight end. They also used Jim Jensen a lot. So it alternated. But Duper and Clayton, obviously, were getting the bulk because it's Duper and Clayton. Kind of like what's going on now with Tyreek and Waddle. Perfect Q. In the last 2 games, there wasn't a defender near Tua most times. It's like Drew Brees, where you give the O-line a big space to work with and make quick decisions. Keep it up to Tua. And more importantly, if you've noticed, there isn't a lot of penetration up the middle of the line. And it's what I've talked about many times over, right, Sean? How Drew Brees in New Orleans, they made sure that their centers and their guards were elite, so the pocket would never crumble. And then the shorter quarterback had the passing lanes and a pocket in order to work from. And that's what you've got to do. And you've got to make sure you're incredibly stout in the middle overall. And that's what they've become lately. There isn't a lot of people breaking through and pressuring the quarterback. It was, whether it's Teddy, whether it's Skylar, most of the QBs for the Miami Dolphins have had more than enough time to make their passes. By the way, I see Essential Moving Experts there, and we love Sean Williams and all the great people out there. Listen, if you're making a move that's over $3,000, you can save $250. If you're doing something under that, hey, you mentioned the Big O, you're going to get $150 off. Moving was never so easy. Well over 1,600 clients have said they love the service from Essential Moving Experts, and you're going to love it because Sean and the boys, they provide flat rates, no surprise charges, safe and efficient loading and unloading practices at all times. Their home base is in Daytona, Florida, but they service the country. So it doesn't matter where you're moving, from one state to another, across the country, moving your offices. And by the way, if you happen to be moving and yet the new home is not ready, the new office building is not ready, and you need to store your goods for a short time, Essential Moving Experts will store them in their warehouse on the house for 30 days. That's on them when you use them. How about that? They can even store it for you for 30 days while you wait for your home to be finished, the office to be finished. I mean, when it comes to essential moving experts, they just do things differently. And when it comes to service, that's exactly what Sean Williams is all about. He wants to make sure the customer is happy, and they can move anything in the world, okay? They have moved all kinds of crazy items, so they will take on most challenges too. Call them 844-368-5750. That's 844-368-5750 for essential moving experts. All right. Big O, did you already go over the Chubb contract? I don't go. I have not. I have not gone over the Chubb contract at all. So let's talk a little bit. Bradley Chubb signs a 5-year extension worth $119 million. $63 million of it is guaranteed. We're basically looking at a 3.5-year contract. You're looking at this half season, then the extension starts, and it'll be a 3-year deal. And if you look at the money, it's just a little over, 20 something million, right? It's about 24 million a year, I believe, or no. It's about no, it's about 23 million a year, right? 23 and change. You've got your 63 million guaranteed. So you basically are going to go through your first 3 years of this contract. And then you'll have a window to get out for years 4 and 5 if you want to. All right? I'm hoping that they don't need to, and he's young enough that he can live out that contract. I hope that they sign him to a second contract in his 4th year of this contract. Okay, that's what I'm hoping for. But it's market terms, man. This is what it goes for. And he's having a good season so far. He's a hell of a player. He really is. He can do it all for you. He can help you out in the run, not only just rush the passer. He can drop back a little bit in coverage too and help you out there. He's a really good athlete. He's an you heard Benjamin Albright yesterday. If you follow the show every day, we try to give you as much insight as we can on anything going on. We brought in Benjamin Albright, who's one of the best insiders in Denver, covering the Broncos. Between him and Mike Kliss, those guys know everything that goes on there. And he talked a lot about the person too, which I think you start to see around a lot of most of the guys that they're getting. They're trying to get character guys too at the same time. They're trying to get guys that are committed to the football team, to winning, to sacrificing, those kind of things. Except for Byron Jones, of course. But outside of that, almost everybody else is kind of like on target for something like that. And I do like Chubb the person, Chubb the player. I know he's had the ACL injury, and, that happens. What are you going to do? Now, he went through it, and hopefully this is, that was the end of it, and you move on outside of that. Let's see. Look, what you don't want to do is start jumping to any kind of conclusion one way or the other. All right? He went for what the market goes for. The 1st and the 4th are not a ridiculous number. Plus, you got a 5th back anyways with him. And the money is what you're going to pay for a frontline pass rushing outside linebacker. Now we will find out if everything works out. That's all. And I got to look at I don't think that'll come out yet, but it'll come out in the next couple of days, and we'll find out how heavy is it, how front loaded is this contract, or how back loaded is this contract. Because they have so much cap space this year, I'm wondering if they, actually, no, it's an extension. So next year, I'm wondering how much they added into next year, because remember, you're going to pay Tua 2 years after that. You got to pay Tua. In that 5th year, you're going to have to extend him. After that 4th year, you're going to have to extend him for sure. You'll pick up that 5th year option. You'll extend them sometime during the 4th, and then it'll kick in that 5th or 6th year. So you've got to try to get some of that signing bonus, cleared through the cap the first couple of years. What you don't want to do is do a lot of the stuff that they've done in the past where they backload all these contracts and then it catches up to you. No matter what anybody tells you, the cap can be you can manage around it, but only for a certain amount of time. Eventually you will have to pay the piper. Eventually dead money will have to be answered for, and you will have less space down the line to make moves. And you just can't keep mortgaging the future because you create less space for yourself in the future at the same time. It's the part that people don't understand. Like my boy Omar Kelly that doesn't understand that about the cap, and he says it's fake. It's not fake. Okay? Yes, it's created in a way that you can make up for some of your mistakes in a short term. But in the long term, you're going to have your dead money years like when Sue left. 2 years in a row, you had $13 and $19 million of cap space that you could not use. And so then what are you going to keep doing? Mortgaging more of the space in the future? No, you can't do that. So that's why they took that hit in 19 and said, let's absorb all these hits already and get over it and have a team that doesn't have a lot of talent, but we're not paying a lot of money, so we can use all that dead cap space. And that's kind of what they did. That's what people don't realize. 19 was about not having a lot of talent, but it was also about clearing cap space and taking in the dead cap hits from Mike Tannenbaum and Sue and Tannehill and all those deals from the past. So you will pay the piper. You can put it off a little bit, kind of like your credit cards, but eventually, just like your credit cards, you're going to have to pay. It is what it is. True Fin fan, thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. What you told me yesterday about being jaded and that you get it, but I have to live in the now and was on point, sir. You're right. Going to enjoy now. You got to enjoy now, man. Let me give you an example of why you should enjoy now. Okay? Tua Tagovailoa. And it's funny how, because he's a lightning bolt, right? So let's bring up that video with Tua yesterday in his press conference. And he was asked, I believe by Joe Shad, right? I think it was Joe Shad that was trying to bait him into the whole, are you a Super Bowl contender or Hal Habib? Might have been Hal? You think it was Perk? Okay, maybe. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. You think it was Perk? Okay. So they were kind of baiting him to talk about the Super Bowl and all that stuff. And here was Tua's response, hey, after the Bradley Chubb and Jeff Wilson, how do you feel? Do you guys feel like you're more of a contender for the Super Bowl and those kind of things? Here's Tua's response to this.
And throughout training camp, we could see the potential that we had as a team, offensively and defensively. And, we're not afraid to talk about Super Bowls here. We're not afraid to talk about, going to a playoff game, having the opportunity to go to one and then, hopefully winning one. But yeah, if you were to ask me that, I would say I have full belief that we are capable, even with the trades that we've had. So, yeah.
So what's wrong with that? Some people are like, oh, he needs to slow down. No, you need to speed up. This is a guy that came off the bench and won a national title. This is a guy that's used to winning. This guy wants to win. Now, the quarterbacks he had from the past, they didn't have that kind of pedigree. That's the difference. Here's a guy that believes in himself. The problem is there's a bunch of you that don't believe in him. Somehow or another, that's what it is. But you haven't been able to talk about it, and I'm talking about a Super Bowl or playoffs because the team's been a disaster. But let me ask you something. When was the last GM you had that went and got 9 first-round picks in a span of 5 years and hit on 7 of them? Has that happened? Since Marino left, do you have a general manager that hit on 7 of his last 9 first-round picks? Because we went over it yesterday, right? Tua, Tyreek, Chubb, Jalen Phillips, Christian Wilkins, Minka. Flo couldn't get along with him, so they had to trade Minka. Chris Greer goes and drafts Javon Holland, a first-round talent in the second round, and Waddle. Those are all first-round picks, 7 of them. That's what he did with 7 first-round picks. Okay, did he miss on Noah and Austin Jackson? Fine. Give me a general manager that can hit on 7 of 9 first-round picks, and I'll take him every time. Give me a general manager that can find X in the second round and Javon Holland in the second round. You know what I'm saying? When was the last time you had a GM that can do stuff like that? I'm sorry. When was the last time you had a GM that actually hired the right coach? Well, Mike McDaniel looks like he understands offenses in today's NFL. So when was the last time you had a quarterback that did the stuff that Tua has done this year since Marino? You don't have one. Fiedler couldn't do this. Farrakh couldn't do this. Chad Pennington couldn't do this. Tannehill couldn't do this. Cleo Lemon couldn't do this. You want me to continue naming all the sorry-ass quarterbacks that have been here in the past? So why can't you be positive? Why can't you feel good about the Dolphins? Because you've been burned in the past, right? That's what it is. But you've been burned in the past because you had Cleo Lemon and Dave Wannstedt. That's why you were burned. You were burned because Cam Cameron couldn't coach out of a paper sack. That's why you were burned. So when was the last time you had a coach that went and beat Buffalo the last couple of years? None. So when was the last time you had a quarterback that was down by 21 against Baltimore who has been kicking your ass for years now? Kicking your ass for years. Down 21, the quarterback brings you back to win it all. I'm just trying to remember, since Marino left, when do I have these kind of examples to feel good about with the Dolphins? I never have. Because it's Jay Ajayi for 1 year. It's Ricky Williams for 2 years. It's Lamar Smith for 1 year. You get my drift? Never the quarterback. I'm never excited about a powerful offense. I'm excited about a running game. And for 20 years, it's always the defense that has to bail you out. Now you got an offense that can bail you out. So I love the people that are coming out and after Tua because he talks with confidence. He never told you there that they're going to win it. He didn't predict it. He just says, hey, we're confident in our group. We're confident that we can, challenge for a Super Bowl. He's supposed to say that, by the way. I would hate for my quarterback to say, oh, well, slow down there. We haven't done anything. I don't even know if we can win this week. Yeah, no, I don't want that guy. I like Tua. You know why I like Tua? Because he's the guy that you want representing your franchise, representing your family, marrying your daughter, and then he's the son of a bitch you want on the field that will cut your heart out. It's like Dwayne Wade. He's got that baby face, great dude, represent your family, represent your franchise. When he's on the court, he's going to cut your heart out. That's what those dudes are like. That's Derek Jeter. Same thing. Nice guy, all-American dude, all that stuff. Represent your company, represent your corporation, represent your team, be a captain. Then when he's on the field, he's going to cut your heart out. People have a problem sometimes with people who are too nice because we don't necessarily associate niceness with having an edge on the field. But that's the special quality of those kind of dudes. Joe Montana, quiet, unassuming, nice guy, represents your organization, steps on the field, cuts your heart out. It's the kind of shit you learn about years later, where Joe Montana is in the huddle in the middle of a Super Bowl, and he looks at everybody and says, dude, did you guys see John Candy was there on the sidelines? And guys are looking around like, we're in the middle of the Super Bowl. We got to drive to win this game, and this guy's having some fun with John Candy in the middle of a huddle. That's Joe Montana. Ice. That's Tua Tagovailoa. Ice. So he doesn't give a shit about talking about Super Bowls. And you shouldn't either. So have some fun, man. Enjoy this. You're 5-3. You got a shot at winning this week, going 6-3. You got a shot to go to the playoffs. Anything can happen. Here's what I'll tell you. Is this team better than the Cincinnati Bengals last year? And I would say yes. So if they are, why don't they have a shot to get there? They already beat Buffalo. So it's not like they don't carry the confidence that they can't beat Buffalo. They can beat Buffalo. So relax, man. Enjoy it. You got a confident quarterback. You should be a confident fan base. Let me get to some of the super chats here. Let's see. Finn Attic Fury with Larry K. Big O, you were right all along. I had some doubts here and there, but it's also great listening to your show and also dropping knowledge today. Thank you, my friend, and thank you for the super chat. Leva, maybe the latest trades will spur Byron Jones to show up and make war with his brothers en route to the Super Bowl. You know, I'm told that he's not even in the building all the time. Finn Attic back with the Fury. Greer has been great. Thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. And yes, he has been absolutely freaking phenomenal. The way you explain Tua, the media has a different way of portraying him. Why is that? Tua should be the face of the NFL. Rosendo, like I told you, nice people aren't viewed that way. They're not. You know, we tend to give Kyrie Irving more publicity for being an anti-Semitic piece of shit than actually Tua, who's an absolutely fantastic human being. That's what we do. That's our society. And you know why? It's boring to read about Tua. But we want to read about the plane crash, the car crash. We want to read about the earthquake. We want to read about the storm. We want to read about the embezzlement. We want to read about, because that's what our society is. You want to hear about the person that saved 20 dogs? No. That's boring. The firefighter that saved the cat from the sewage? Or somebody that saved somebody, no. You don't want to hear about any of that, dude. You don't want to hear about that the Miami Heat went out and served 10,000 meals. You don't want to hear about that. Now, if one of their guards is high in a hotel, like Green was, you want to hear about that, right? That's what you dictate, man. And that's why. So people like Tua, people like Tebow, people like that, they're Russell Wilson. Look how they kill Russell. This is a guy that's won a Super Bowl. This guy, Russell Wilson, was a badass at NC State, went right to Wisconsin in 1 year, took him to the Rose Bowl, went to Seattle, won a Super Bowl, should have won 2 if his coach wasn't such a dumbass. And now he goes to the Broncos, and all we do is waste our time trying to dismantle a man that doesn't do anything to harm anybody whatsoever. We treat Russell Wilson worse than we're treating Kyrie Irving. Broncos country, let's ride. Let's just have fun with that for 8 years. We're weird, man. We are twisted people. I'm telling you. G Firm, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says Herbert is a glorified Drew Bledsoe. Maybe. He might be Phillip Rivers, Drew Bledsoe type. It's kind of what he's looking like. Great physical talent, but Show me the substance, bro. You know? Ken Helm says, Big O radio show Dirty Laundry by Don Henley is a perfect song. She could tell you about the plane crash with a gleam in her eye. Yes. Yes. People love it when we, use dirty laundry. Yes, that's a great song. Great song from Don Henley. Great song. Big O QB, best coaches, Adam Gase, Joe Philbin, Cameron. Yep, that's it. That's it. Those are the men. Wilson just made Subway's bankrupt. Nice guy, huh? Russell Wilson. What? Did Subway go bankrupt? I mean, the way they kill their franchise owners on what they have to do in order to own a franchise in Subways. Have you seen what oh my God. Oh my God, their franchise fees and everything that they have. Oh, the profit is very little for Subways. For like if you're a franchise owner, like you're going to need to own like 8 of them to really make money. That's from what I see and hear about that stuff. So I don't know how they'll ever go broke because their franchise owners pay so much. And they've got every athlete on the planet on those commercials because they spend so much in advertising. So anyway, there's nothing there, right? Yeah, I don't think so. I would have heard about it. I would have heard about that while I was watching some of the news this morning. Big O very well said. People can only look at the shows that are shown on TV, cable, and platforms, etc. They reflect what people like to watch. How can they complain when they dictate what's important? Exactly. And then the media then feeds you all the shit that you guys like to watch. That's kind of the way it is. All right, 1 hour down. We got 2 more to go. Marcel Louis-Jacques should be joining us. We await Marcel Louis-Jacques to start off hour number 2 right here live from Hialeah Park.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys? Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All right, hour number 2 live from Hialeah Park, baby. We await Marcel Louis-Jacques. He's going to join us at 5 o'clock. Alan Poopart will be joining us. We'll have some fun with both of them. We'll talk a little bit more Miami Dolphins. We'll get their thoughts on everything else out there. Sebastian Alvarez is asking, do you think the new TV deal will kick into effect? These contracts that are being signed now, I think it's going to be a big one with exclusive streaming ready to be factored into the deal. Sebastian, the problem that you're not understanding that a lot of, and this happens to me for years now, and you're not alone. It's lots of fans think this. More money doesn't mean more players. It only means that the salaries are going up. So you get the same amount of players. You don't get to squeeze in more. The way you squeeze in more is if your front office is creative and they have ways of getting out of contracts and they don't commit themselves to contracts that will get them in trouble, that kind of stuff. But the money's going up only means that the salaries will go up. The salaries don't stay the same. You know, you used to pay quarterbacks 15, 20 million. Now you're paying them 45, 50 million. That's the going rate now. So we have to get off that trip. When caps rise, salaries also rise. That's just the way it is. So you're not going to get any more players than you normally would. All right, let's get to Marcel Louis-Jacques. Let's get the edge, baby. You know, we talk about Edge energy drink all the time. Tua plays with an edge. Well, you want to live life with an edge? Go to myedgedrink.com and use our code BIGO. You'll get 10% off the finest energy drink on the planet. Delicious, smooth, and zero aftertaste. When I tell you zero aftertaste, I mean it, man. And you can't get it in stores. You got to go online, myedgedrink.com. Order it, get 10% off Edge energy drink. All right, let's go to Marcel Louis-Jacques.
Time to get the edge on the Miami Dolphins with our Edge Energy Drink Miami Dolphins report. When you want the energy drink that's delicious and smooth with zero aftertaste, you can only order Edge Energy Drink at myedgedrink.com. That's myedgedrink.com. Here's the ESPN Dolphin insider Marcel Louis-Jacques.
There he is, the man that brings the edge, Marcel Louis-Jacques. How you feeling?
Woof, what a week, man. What a week, huh?
Yeah, I would say one hell of a week. I mean, you know, when you give a general manager 9 first-round picks and he gets Tua, Tyreek, Chubb, Jalen Phillips, Christian Wilkins, Minka, who then he's forced to trade because of Flo and replaces him with Javon Holland in the second round and Waddle, and you only miss on Jackson and Noah. And you know what? Maybe the jury's still out on those two. Maybe something happens. But 7 out of 9, that's a pretty good percentage there overall. What do you think about that?
Look, I have long said that, Chris Greer gets a lot of flack for, perceived misses in the
2020. Yeah. I heard a lot of whining bitches about 2020. Oh, mute. Muty. There we go. Is he coming back? Is he back? Is he back? No, he's not back. No. No.
Can you hear me now?
There we go. We got you now.
Technology, man. It's my favorite. It's my least favorite.
Yes. 2020, the 2020 whiny bitches. Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. So he gets a lot of flack for that, but he's been an aggressive general manager. Outside of that, he's been an efficient general manager. Outside of that, this was a great. I thought this was a great haul for
him. We got to stop with that. Outside of that shit, he found Tua, bro. That draft,
and that pick looks better every day.
Yeah, you don't.
To the point. Let me finish. To the point where I won't completely shut my ears off when you bring up Tua versus Justin Herbert. I won't completely shut my ears off. I won't tell you, hey, look, you're wilding. I won't tell you, chill out, stop it.
You're learning.
Look, while physically, that's never going to be an argument between Herbert and Tua. Physically, but that's not what this is about. Like, it's a results-oriented business.
Vince Young in half his body has more talent than Tua.
It is a results-oriented business, and while not looking at wins and losses because those are not quarterback stats, Tua has played the position better than Justin Herbert has this year. That's the middle ground. That's the middle ground that I think we have to meet at, because that's true. He's playing the position more efficiently than anybody in the NFL right now. He leads it in quarterback rating. So that pick looks better and better every day. Noah, Austin Jackson. Talk about that.
Wait a minute. Stop with that already. Robert Hunt, Raekwon Davis, and Robert
and Brandon Jones. Quality players later in the draft.
No. But my point is, with Tua, with Robert Hunt, with Raekwon Davis, and Brandon Jones, it's a fucking awesome draft. I don't care what happens to Noah or Austin. You got me a franchise quarterback. You got me a defensive tackle. You got me a right guard and a starting strong safety. Are you out of your mind? Any draft. If I tell you in one draft, you're getting a starting guard, a starting defensive tackle, a starting strong safety, and your franchise quarterback, what kind of a draft is that?
Look, it's any draft that you can get 3 to 4 starters is an excellent draft. It's an excellent draft because, of course, everybody wants to hit on every single pick, but in all reality, you have, if it's, let's say, 1 pick per round, you'll have 7 players. You're not going to hit on 7. You're not going to go 7 for 7. 3 for 7. 3 for 7 is considered a good draft.
I think you're really good. Yeah.
I think the reason why he gets so much flack for the missed first rounders is because partly because of all the hype surrounding the 2020 first round pick. It was the tank for Tua years. It was letting go of Tunsil and Minka, and it had such high expectations that's what people are going to latch on to. You shake your head, but to play devil's advocate.
Can I help you? I have 33 years. No, I have 33 years of this, and you heard it. Even with the short time you've been here, you've heard this stupid ass statement from some Dolphin fans. This is why Chris Greer gets all this shit. Are you ready? Chris Greer has been here for 15 years. He's part of the problem. They thought he told Saban what to do, and Randy Mueller, and was it Jeff Ireland, and Sperano, and Gase, and Tannenbaum, and that's the problem, because he's been here since he was young, and he's been here for nearly 20 years, and he grew up in here. But I try to keep explaining to people, Marcel, this is the part that where Dolphin fans become stupid, where NFL fans become stupid, where some reporters become stupid. Okay, sometimes they say, well, this coach keeps getting hired by this team or that team or that team. And well, the reason why that assistant coach keeps getting hired is because he's actually really good, and he's not the reason why that team failed. It was the head coach, it was the personnel, whatever. But this offensive coordinator is good, so he's going to get hired there. The reason why Chris Grier stayed after Wanstead and Mueller and Saban and Ireland and all. Why? Because all his reports are on hard drives. And just because they don't listen to the black guy, well, then that's, I can't help you on that. Just because you never want to give the black guy a shot, that I can't help you, bro. But there's a reason why they kept him around, because the black guy got it right all the time. That's why. So everybody else kept him around because he was giving everybody else good advice. Then finally, somebody said, we keep hiring all these dudes, and we have a guy that we never give him a chance. By the way, how's his track record? They must have gone through it and said, wow, he picks all the right players. They just don't use his advice. So all of a sudden now he takes over, and it's what I've just told Dolphin fans. When was the last time you had a general manager that hit on 7 of his 9 first-round picks, found a coach, found a quarterback, and look at this whole thing? And by the way, Reggie McKenzie has no business being fired from the Oakland Raiders. None whatsoever. He did an exceptional job there. Marvin Allen should be a general manager somewhere in the NFL, because I know all 3 of those dudes. And I'm glad that Grier got his shot, but the problem that we continue to have, and I'll say it, even if you may not want to say it, we'll give the black guy a shot. And so if we keep screwing people over, this is why. And so Chris Grier has been here for 20 years, and they think he was in charge the entire time. So that stupidity has festered in this fan base. And all of a sudden, now they're going to learn that Chris Grier is an ass kicker.
You got to think, like, it's logic at a certain point, right? He's been here since, what is it, 04?
Yeah, it's like 20 years.
Like 04 or 02.
Whatever.
Who do you know that keeps a job for 20 years if they're bad at it? You don't keep a job for 20. You can't finesse people for 20 years if you can't do the job.
No.
So yeah, like, to an extent, from the things that I've heard, where like, yeah, he was just kind of a, more of a people pleaser, not people pleaser, but would let his coach do what they wanted. Okay, well, this is what you want. This is who you want to play. This is what you want to do. Like, he just kind of like, he would be passive. But,
remember, his position was just giving suggestions. He was not the person in charge. So he could get cock blocked every single time. Now he does all the cock blocking. Now it's different. Now if he feels like listening to, but see, the beauty about Chris Grier is, unlike the other general managers some of them that you've had here that have these egos that they don't want to take somebody else's opinion, that's not who he is. Brother, when you bring in Marvin Allen and Reggie McKenzie, you have no ego, because those are 2 ass kickers. I can tell you that for a fact. Those 2 are ass kickers, and they should be running their own football teams. But last time I checked, they're also black. So, it's also a problem. This is what goes on. And you look at your defensive coordinator. He loved Cater Kohu. There you go. You like him? All right, bro. Work on him. We'll bring him in. We'll pay him. And there it is. That's why he's having success also, because he's also egoless, where he knows his ability, but he's also not hard-headed, that he's not going to give others an opportunity to help his franchise get better. I think Chris Grier is a perfect GM right now for this team.
I thought, again, I thought it's a strong move. We get, and rightfully to an extent, but we get wrapped up in the value of a first round pick, and obviously they do have value, but ultimately, what are you trying to get with a first round pick? You're trying to get a highly productive player, right? You're trying to get a cornerstone type player,
right?
So I don't care about trading a first round pick for a guy who's already that. Like you're picking somebody you hope is going to be a Bradley Chubb when you can just go get Bradley Chubb.
Oh yeah.
Like if that's it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. And unlike last year where they traded a first and second round pick, they still have a second rounder. They have two third rounders. You can package those and move up. Maybe not all the way back into the first round, but you can move up in the second if you see somebody that you like. Like it's not they have draft capital.
Oh,
like,
but you know what they're going to do? They're going to get that third and trade down and get extra picks because these guys don't need first rounders. They can hit all over the damn draft. So you're probably better off in this coming draft to trade down and get more picks because you'll find a Skyler, you'll find a Van Ginkel, you'll find a Brandon Jones, you'll find a Robert Hunt. You can find guys in the middle to late rounds. You've proven it over and over again.
And see, this is where your scouting department is going to earn its money, and this is where a lot of teams in the NFL fail because once you start dishing out big money, like okay, you've rebuilt, now you're good, and you start dishing out big money to pay your players, it crumbles because all of a sudden, okay, you can't afford anybody, or you don't have that quality depth once you let go of the guys that you can no longer afford. This is where, yeah, you're right. Like having more draft picks, having more mid-round draft picks is going to help you because in the middle rounds, you might find a star, sure, but more likely you're going to find a solid starter. You're going to find a contributor to your team. You don't need stars anymore.
Look at this draft. Look at this draft. Tyndall, he'll develop. He'll come around. Azukama looks like he's got a future. And you already are set to let go of Teddy Bridgewater next year because Skyler is going to be one of the cheapest quarterbacks for the next 4 years.
Let's be super real. Skyler looks like the most valuable rookie of this class, of the Dolphins draft. Of course. Because a viable quarterback, a viable backup quarterback is worth more than a 7th round pick, man. I'll just put it that way.
No, in the cap space, dude. You're that $6 million goes to Chubb.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's like that $6 million's huge. $6
million goes to Chubb, and also don't sleep on. Look, man, they might like Byron Jones all they want. This coming off season is the first time you can reasonably get out of that contract.
He's gone.
You got Cater Kohu right now, who's playing very well. You like what you've seen from Keon Crossan. You can draft another cornerback. Like that would seem, if we're eventually ESPN is going to ask us to list our most likely to be cut guys or guys who, might not be on the team next year. Byron is probably going to be my first pick there. And it's not necessarily just because he's bad at football. It's just, if you don't restructure, if you don't want to restructure, it doesn't make a lot of sense to keep that kind of cap hit, with the money that you're eventually going to have to pay Tua.
Yeah, no, he's done it. And especially the way things have gone this year, I don't think that they're going to want to bring him back because of that.
So, and I said, I've said all along when they had 2 first-round picks in 2023 that one of 2 things is going to happen with them. There's a reason why Greer it was a concerted effort for him to keep those when, discussing the Tyreek Hill trade with Kansas City and when teams would offer trades during the draft and during the offseason. One of 2 things was going to happen. Either Tua was not going to have a good year and they were going to package 2 first-rounders to move up and take a quarterback, or Tua was going to have a good year and they're going to use those picks to build around him. Like it's not, this isn't rocket science here. Like it was obvious why he wanted to keep those picks. So he went out and he got, he said, all right, look, we only have so much time before we have to pay Tua. We only have so much time before that $40+ million cap hit. Let me go attack our window while we still have a guy on a rookie deal. So they, like, realistically, their prime Super Bowl window is this year and next year. Because that's about as long as you can drag out not paying Tua.
Year 5.
Maybe another year if you franchise.
Yeah, year 5, you what you do is you extend him on the year 5, and then you extend him after year 5. And so you buy yourself some time. It's still a hard number, that year 5. It's going to be a big number.
And look, this is going to say a lot about Tua. All right. Because look, I don't blame players for chasing a bag. So if Tua at this pace, Tua and Lee Steinberg are going to ask for a new contract at the end of this year. Don't get it twisted. if they manage to get him all the way to the 5th year and actually play on his 5th year,
No,
because they say like
there's
that would be the ultimate team friendly move for Tua to make. And I just, as good of a teammate as he is, as good of a dude as he may be, it's bad business for himself.
Not for his body. You can't do that. He's got to get his deal done after year 4. Right when year 4 is ending, he's got to have his deal done going into year 5, and then you're extending it. Or maybe even after this season. You never know. It could
depends on, obviously, like,
you could agree to it to be an extension after year 4.
Like,
yeah.
we're making we're debating with, unknown information yet. Like, we're debating when, like, critical information is still yet to be seen. We're 8 weeks into the season. Nobody's going to deal based on 8 weeks. We'll see what happens after 17 and 18. We'll see if they make the playoffs, how far they go in the playoffs, how instrumental he was in how far this team goes. All of those are going to factor into what they do this year. If he keeps up a decent level of play but falters a little bit from his current pace, then they might be able to say, hey, play another year on this deal, and you have our word. You hit XYZ benchmark, you'll get your money in 2024. You have our word. And then it's up to them to decide if they trust it or not. He's not playing on that 5th year. They might pick it up, they might not. It doesn't matter. He's not going to play on it, to the point where I actually wouldn't be shocked if they didn't even pick it up, because the worst thing that'll happen is that, either he's injured, he, for some, God forbid, falls off, then they're locked into that. Like, it doesn't matter. They're going to pay him before that 5th year anyways. I wouldn't be shocked if they didn't pick it up. That's all I'm trying to say. It's kind of word jambalaya right now. I just wouldn't be shocked, because it's irrelevant.
So obviously you approve of the deal for both players and contract and all. I mean, the contract, it is what it is, bro. It's
the contracts.
It's a 2-year contract with options out and whatever. It's kind of it's the going rate. It's not a big deal to me. I don't freak out on the contract, but I'm just, you like the deal overall, both players, right? Dropped him. There we go. Wait a minute. Oh, grab my edge.
I do not know what's going on. We flickered a little bit here. No, I agree with the compensation, just like with the Tyreek Hill trade. Like, I thought it was fair compensation on either side. You solved one problem by, shedding Chase Edmonds, who, good dude, it just wasn't working. It just wasn't working here. And he managed to go get a guy who, I loved what Jeff Wilson said. And Jeff, like, one of the coolest dudes in the locker room already. Got to have a conversation with him yesterday, just off to the side, talking to him today, press conference setting. Just a cool dude. But somebody asked him to describe his running style, and he said, downhill. I don't like to play too many games. He doesn't dance. He's not finesse. He's not a receiving electric bat. He's like what did Marshawn say? Run through a motherfucker chest. That's the kind of runner he had. And you look at this backfield, that's the kind of runner they've lacked for how many years? Because I'm not counting Malcolm Brown as a physical runner. No. Malcolm Brown juked more than Albert Wilson. And Albert Wilson, it doesn't matter. Malcolm Brown didn't know he weighed 230 pounds from what I saw out of him. So they get a bruising back. They get a physical between the tackles runner.
It'll be Ingold and Wilson on short yardage, my brother.
So I think it was an excellent trade deadline day. Rough day for us in the media. I'm in a group chat with our Steelers, Browns, Bengals, and Bills reporter. So, and then me, including me, that's Dolphins. 4 of the 5 had major national news to deal with, had major trades or injured reserve additions to cover yesterday. We're sending out thoughts and prayers like crazy in the chat. And I remember somebody, a Browns reporter, Jake Trotter, he made me nervous, man, because everybody else was like, oh, and another one, Jeff Wilson, Marcel, get back to work. And I responded, and then a few minutes later, and Jake Trotter goes, uh-oh, Marcel, get ready. And I'm like, what are you talking about? what do you know? Is it Kareem Hunt? I was like, don't tell me it's Kareem Hunt. I can't handle 2 blockbuster trades in one day. I can't do it, man. I don't have the bandwidth here. And he was just late on the Jeff Wilson stuff. He doesn't. He's a habitual non-scroller. He doesn't scroll up to catch up, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, rough day for the media. Great day for the Dolphins.
Rough day, huh? Would you rather have a real job, by the way?
I have a real job.
No. Would you want a real job?
No, man.
Okay.
Long day for the media. Fun day for the Dolphins.
Fun day for the media too. Come on. Even on long days, I still feel blessed to do what I do every single time. Overall, all right. So we look at this team now. What do you know about Byron Jones?
He's not playing this week, and I would venture out to say he ain't playing next week either. I've said it on here before. This is not a case where they're going to activate his practice window and then he's just going to simply play that week. This is a 1 to 2 week, I think, window for him, like a 1 to 2 week ramp up period. So you might as well count out the next 2 weeks. Every time you hear he is not being activated, every time you hear his practice window is not open, mark 2 weeks down on the calendar and cross an X through it. He's not playing. At this point, you hope that he gets back for playoffs. The season is half over. It's essentially a lost season for him right now. We're getting there. You just hope you get him back for playoffs. That would be a huge shot in the arm, I think, for this team, or maybe a little before playoffs, so that he's used to game reps and live reps, and that would help considering the teams you're gonna have to play in the postseason if you're Miami and you make it there. But that is what I know. Look, man, I reported it. I was told, reputable source at the time in March, that he was expected to be ready for training camp, that this was not a torn Achilles repair, that it was cleaning up an issue that he had dealt with in the 2021 season. It wasn't supposed to take this long. And we're starting to see a little bit of realism out of Mike McDaniel here, a little transparency that we weren't getting from Flores during the Will Fuller fiasco, when it was basically like, yeah, he's not going to practice this week. He's not going to practice this week. No, he's not. Mike was like, look, yeah, it's at the point where it's kind of getting a little frustrating for everybody. Like, it's frustrating for everybody.
All right, we have talked about this. Yeah, I'm hearing he's not even in the building all the time. Anyway,
I've seen him in the locker room before, so I'm not going to say he's not there. But
did I say that he's not there? I said he's not there all the time. Anyway, so I've talked to you about this and the other guys too about this, that that whole thing that he doesn't listen is a lie. And that's why Tua plays the way he plays, because he may not be listening to radio, but he's listening to people telling him that he's too short and doesn't have the arm, this, that. He already told Maria Taylor that he was taking receipts. And yesterday he took the shot at the deep ball thing. And so I'm just telling you that this guy listens. This guy listens, and he plays because you tell him he can't win a Super Bowl, he can win a Super Bowl. You tell him he can't run through a wall, he's going to run through a wall. You tell him he can't win this game, he's going to win this game. You tell him he can't throw deep, he's going to throw deep. This is who he is. He is using all of the negativity as the fuel, like Michael Jordan, like a crap ton of other athletes in the history of sports. And that example yesterday showed you that he continues to listen.
Yeah, that's, he's long been somebody I've said, like, when athletes say they don't pay attention to this stuff, like, Tua is the one guy I actually believe. And now I don't know what to believe, because it's obvious, no, he's paying attention, or at the very least.
You're coming around again. I like it.
At the very least,
First Herbert and now this.
At the very least, when Ann tells him everything that is being said, that, he takes it to heart a little bit. There's an interesting conversation on morning sports talk show today that, like, they're saying, oh, why are you talking about we can be a contender? Why are you talking about Super Bowls? You're third place in the division. Third place in the division, tied with second place and a game behind first with the tiebreaker already in hand. I think that's a weird, weird energy to come out with. But what is he supposed to say?
Exactly.
What's he supposed to say?
today.
Tua, do you think you can be contenders? I don't know about that. We're just trying to, we're just trying to do the best we can every day. Who wants to hear any of that?
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that.
Yes, I think we are contenders. Yes, I think that we can. Yes, I thought so before even these trades, and now I feel even better about it now. Weird thing to focus on here. The kid's playing well. Like, he's feeling confident. It's very clear that he's coming out of his shell this year, or has come out of his shell this year,
or he's allowed to come out of his shell,
or just feels comfortable enough to do it. Like,
yes.
He likes
he was very
social.
Dude, he was very sociable with his Alabama players. Very sociable. I know that for a fact. Once he lets you in his circle, whoever was in his circle on that team, he was having jokes and fun with all those guys, and nothing's changed. The thing is that you had a guy here that cock blocked him completely, and just didn't want him around. Basically,
Like I've said on this show before, Tua likes coming to work. That's why you're seeing the 2 hour, not 2, like 6 hours before kickoff. That's why you see him do the walkthrough, visualizing reps. That's why you see him coming in on off days and doing this and that and the third. Like, he just likes it's a workplace that he likes coming to. And I think a lot of people out there have experienced something similar where, look, you hated going to work, so maybe you punched in and punched out. You didn't really go the extra mile. And all of a sudden, you get a new manager, you get a new coworker, you get a promotion, you get a new assignment. Something enhances your workplace experience. And there you go. The light bulb turns on.
I'm with you. All right. What are you working on ESPN so folks can check you out, my friend?
I got a long story on Tyreek that we're hoping to get out before the end of the season. I've been slowly collecting a little data on that. I'm also, I want to, and it's probably a multi-week project. It's hard to do it on the first week that Chubb is here. But this is rare team building from the Dolphins. This is rare team building. You like to draft, develop, and re-sign. Those are the 3 pillars of how to build a team.
Mm-hmm.
And then, once you're close or once you're there, then you might add a big name free agent. You might add a couple names. Arguably the most marquee, like the highest paid players on this team now, are going to be guys who were not drafted by the organization. You're bringing in outside help and making them the highest paid player. That's a dangerous thing to do.
Yeah, but
in most places.
But you answered your own article.
But it's working here.
No, but you answered your own article just earlier. They had no choice now. They have to fast track it because Flores effed up this whole thing. Since he couldn't build an offensive staff, they couldn't figure out if Tua or the offense worked for 2 years. So now comes year 3 of Tua's 5-year contract. You've got to fast track it now. So you had to go buy all these players. You had to make all these moves, and you had to find the right coach. And all of it had to come to a head this year so you can start to really find out, because your prior coach effed up the process for 2 years. And so that's why there's a rhyme and a reason to what they're doing. I doubt they wanted to spend this kind of money in free agency, but they had no choice now because the other 2 years being screwed under Flores.
And again, these are all things the article can touch on, but it is something that I like to look into. I would also just love to hear more insight from Bradley Chubb eventually on, because I just wonder, I don't think it's something he's actually going to talk about, and it's not something I want to try to pressure or bait him into. But I asked him today, what kind of responsibilities come with being one of the highest paid players on a team you weren't drafted by? And I just wonder if his experience this past year in Denver teaches him anything about how to enter a locker room when you are making more money than 90% of it, and they don't know you. Because Russell Wilson just effed that up. He just messed up. He's not. I've had agents tell me that their client turned down offers from the Broncos because they don't want to play with Russell Wilson. You see his old teammate saying how to get a hold of him. Call his manager. He's coming in with all that rah-rah stuff, Broncos country, let's ride. But in week 4, or whenever that horrible Thursday night football game was, or week 5, 6, the Broncos Colts.
I know. Go ahead.
They're saying offensive line is still getting used to his cadence. You've been together since spring. What do you mean you're getting used to the cadence? So there are things that, and he's making $45 million a year, or 50, 60, whatever the hell $1 million a year. I don't feel like he came into that locker room and ingratiated himself to his teammates. He came in thinking, I'm Hollywood, I'm the savior, and hasn't taken the time to really get to know his guys. And in turn, that team ain't really playing for him like that. They're not really responding for him like that. So I wonder if Chubb saw that, and it's like an example of, okay, here's what not to do. But again, not going to ask that because I know that would turn into some drama. That would turn into he said, she said. I'm not trying to turn him into a national story. The man just got here. But it's something that I am admittedly curious about.
All right. Follow him on Twitter at Marcel_LJ and catch his work there at ESPN. Marcel, we'll talk to you post-game on Sunday, my friend. Thank you.
Post-game from Chicago. All right, man. See y'all there.
You got it, baby. Be good. There you go. He's going to get himself a little Pizza's over there in Chicago. A little pan pizza, right? Deep dish. That's their thing there, right? All right. That is the myedgedrink.com Miami Dolphins report.
You now have the edge on the Miami Dolphins with the Edge Energy Drink Miami Dolphins report featuring ESPN's Marcel Louis-Jacques. Get the energy drink that's delicious and smooth with zero aftertaste. You can only order Edge Energy Drink at myedgedrink.com. That's myedgedrink.com.
Dan B says to greater good, he goes, I cringe when we were down by 3 with Tannehill. He just didn't have any comeback mode. He rushed everything. Well, he's not a real quarterback. He's got to play, on what's that called? On script. And if things don't go on script, oh God, you are done. You are done. And so that's who he is, unfortunately. I love that Tua talked about all of that. And talking about winning and talking about, Super Bowls. I have no problem with that. I want my quarterback to feel like he can take a team to a Super Bowl. Okay? Whether he can do it or not, we'll find out down the line with every quarterback in the world. Right? We've had a lot of quarterbacks since Marino that we looked at him and said, yeah, we're not going anywhere with that guy. Right? We'll find out now. But listen, I'm a Tua believer, so to me, I'm backing the guy, and he's never shown me anything that he can't do it. Until I see that, then maybe I'll side with some of you out there that don't believe in the kid. But for the time being, I'm rolling with him, and I think he can take this team and win a Super Bowl. I don't know about this year, but he's got the skill set. Just like Perdomo Cigars has got the skills, baby. Constantly producing the best cigars in the business, baby. Perdomo Cigars. Have you been to their warehouse right in Miami Gardens, right off of the Palmetto and 57th Avenue? If you haven't been there, you should go check it out and tell them that Big O sent you. They will take care of you out there. They've got this big, giant humidor, and it is loaded with any and every kind of Perdomo cigar. So check it out for yourself there at Perdomo Cigars. Go to perdomocigars.com. It's right off 57th Avenue and the Palmetto. And listen, you're seeing the 10th anniversary right there, but there's the double-aged 12-year vintage. There's the Estate Selección. There's the Habano, by the way, the 10th anniversary. You can get it in Habano. You can get the bourbon. You can get the barrel-aged. You can get the Lot 23. There's all kinds of great cigars, light, medium, full-body cigars. The construction is absolutely awesome. So it draws great from beginning to end. The flavor is full of flavor from beginning to end. Some of these companies out there, they got cigars that'll die out on you with a quickness, and all of a sudden it feels like you're smoking some grass. I'm not talking about that other grass. I'm talking about like the literally the grass that you walk on all over the place. Go to Perdomo Cigars at 5150 Northwest 167th Street, or go to your nearest cigar shop and ask for it by name, man. Perdomo Cigars. Quality through and through, baby. Tannehill is great when he can play action with a 2,000-yard rusher all day. So all you have to do is get a first ballot Hall of Fame at running back and a great O-line and a top 10 wide receiver. That's right, Alf. At least you didn't fall for it, Alf. We had a lot of people that when he went over to Tennessee, they were looking, they didn't really watch the games. They didn't actually really pay attention to how things were happening, but they all thought that Tannehill turned the corner. And what did the Dolphins do and stuff like that? I remember that. I remember some of the articles and people talking about, they should have done this for Tannehill. He really turned the, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. He's a game manager on his best day, and that's what he will always be. Nothing more, nothing less. Jamie says, Big O, if Tua would have given the neutral answer, he would have been ripped about not believing or trusting in his team. There's no winning with the media either way, or fans, Jamie. Don't leave out the fans now, because I'm not hearing it from the media on my DMs, on my Twitter line, on my what's it called, Instagram feed. No, it's like, who the hell does he think he is? He hasn't accomplished anything. He's only had a couple good games in his career. This, that. Dude, I heard all of it from fans. So it's not just media. And in fact, I don't think have you caught a lot of media ripping him about the Super Bowl stuff? I don't think so. It's been more fans for me, Jamie. I don't even know a lot of the media members that are ripping him for that, because I think most people understand that he didn't go predict that they're winning the Super Bowl. He just feels confident that his team could, challenge for it. And every team, should feel that way if you're a pretty good team. Obviously, if you're a bad team and you've only won one game this year, it's hard. The Super Bowl conversation is not even going to come up, But when you're 5-3 and you just made these two monster moves, yeah, it's going to come up a little bit here. Plus, you've beaten the Bills already in the division. But mostly, I got to tell you, Jamie, I got a lot of fans. And I got to tell you, Jamie, it's been a lot of fans overall. We have the idiot media members, the Mike Lombardis that come out and say, oh, he can't play and all that. And it's just, that's just stupidity. But it's fans a lot. A lot. What else do we have here on the... What happened? At Florida? Well, those two were hating all the time also. Those two idiots got it all wrong also. I mean, Chris Sims has no business being on the air. He is horrible, dude. Horrible in his delivery, all of that, dude. He's not good for the air. Yeah, Florio and Sims also got it wrong. And a lot of people got it wrong. Because they just went with absolutes. It's crazy how it's online and I see the hate, but wherever I go with the Dolphin fans, everyone seems to be rooting for the guy, Tua. I mean, I don't know how you don't root for a good dude like that, bro. And he sells out for you, man. That's the other thing. You got to love. Okay, we want him to throw the ball away, right? But the dude's trying to make a play also. So he's willing to put his freaking life practically on the line to make a play. He's willing to dive. He's willing to take on a tackler and all of the things that he should not be doing. You know what I'm saying? How do you, as much as it makes us cringe and we're concerned, how do you not respect how he's never going to short you out of anything? And if the game is on the line and the Super Bowl's on the line, that guy's going to sell out. And he's going to try to he's not going to punk out of anything whatsoever. I got to tell you, I love the fact that he's not going to punk out of anything. Jamie says, Big O, very true. I wonder if some of our fans are real fans or just follow the fantasy numbers, stats, etc. I think they think they're real fans, but they're kind of like fair weathered in a way, you know. Big O found on YouTube the 91 Dolphins versus Bears. Going to watch that tonight to get hyped for Sunday. Well, why don't you just watch 85? Why 91? Watch 85, bro. When they came into the Orange Bowl undefeated and they had to walk away with a loss. And the tip pass that goes to it got off of Durio's hands and went into Nat Moore, I want to say that's how it was. It wasn't even the big two. It was like Durio and Nat Moore, I think. Big O, how crazy would it be if the Dolphins last year were the HBO Max team in the season, Doc? That would have been great. That would have been great. Your narrator, LOL. What is it? Were you able to?
No, I was gonna say I don't think it would have been good TV because you wouldn't have gotten anything.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you wouldn't have let anything in. Yeah,
no, there would have been nothing.
Yeah.
Because again, you can try to catch stuff, but I mean,
right.
It's also what the coach is allowed, and that coach.
You're right.
The only thing you would see, I guess, is no flow, right? The coaches would be there with the guys in no flow. I mean,
probably
you could confirm some stuff, I guess.
Fins up Winsey says you can tell he's got big balls. His freshman year national championship. Yeah, bro. You don't come off the bench like that. And you know.
And not only that, but Saban having the confidence in him to bring the freshman quarterback in again. Didn't play all year. You bring him in for a title game. So
you must know something about that kid. And he was right. On this show, we've done a pretty good job of describing who Tua is as a player, haven't we? And a lot of people got it wrong, right? Idiots like Mike Lombardi, right? That wouldn't know a quarterback if it bit him in the ass. There were people out there in absolutes that he couldn't play, too short. There's some of you that are watching right now. You called Tua too short or noodle arm or whatever, and now you're feeling pretty stupid because you're way wrong on that. You're so off. It's not even funny. And we've done a good job of describing what kind of player he is, and I think people now are seeing that. Have you noticed the last couple of weeks that I've been trying to tell all of the guys that we bring on? Haven't I been telling them that Tua listens more than what you think? Haven't I? And finally today, one of them cracked in Marcel Louis-Jacques. I'm going to find out with Alan Poopart at 5 o'clock if he cracks and finally gives in and says, yeah, no, he's listening. And whether he admitted to Maria Taylor and everybody else that he's taking receipts, that kind of stuff, or when he is in training camp and he talks about that deep ball that he threw that was on the money. And then yesterday in the press conference, once again, Tua was asked about where has he improved that he feels, right? And his answer, I don't think it was an answer of real improvement. It was more a backhanded shot than anything else. Fire away there, Sean Stanley. Let's hear from Tua Tagovailoa when asked about where he has improved. His answer. Tell me when you're ready. You ready? Okay, we're going to bring it up here for you. Okay. All right. It's right at the end. I know it's the last question. Okay. So we're going to play it for you now so you can check it out. Hunter Dilemma, by the way, says, imagine the Eagles make it to the Super Bowl undefeated versus the only undefeated team, the Dolphins. And how great of a game do you think that would be? Yeah, that would be awesome. But I'd like to see them lose before they get to the Super Bowl. Quite honestly. That's what I'd like to do. I'd like for them to lose this week. I got to tell you, they can get to the Super Bowl if they want. That's fine by me. I got nothing against that. They're in the NFC, so it doesn't mean anything to me. I care about only one team, and it's in the AFC. All right?
Don't we think? Yeah.
There we go. He
on the same note, we're at the halfway point realistically of the season. Where do you think you've grown the most, and where do you want to see yourself grow more in the second half to make a stretch run?
Well, I think I've grown a lot with the deep balls, huh? Don't we think? Yeah. That was probably a subtle jab, but it was a jab. Huh? So I would say the deep ball, and then I can continue to get better on the deep ball. So
I love it.
There you go.
Nice guy.
There you go. And he told you it was a jab. Why? Because he's listening. He may not be tuned into our radio show or somebody else's radio show or reading the newspaper per se, but they're telling him, it's getting to him one way or another. There's a TV on somewhere in the locker room and he walks by and some guy says something stupid about Tua and he's like, okay, got that. Michael Jordan was like that. A lot of athletes are like that. They love for you to say Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is exactly like that. He loves hearing that he can't do this, that you won't be that your team won't do that they can't accomplish this. He loves that. Loves to feed off of that. And now I think people are realizing that he does listen. And he does hear what people are saying. And I hope that people are figuring this out already. And like I told you before, he plays like a maniac because he hears people talk about what he can't do. So he kills himself to the point that he gets injured. And I'd like for him to take a step back from all of that. What are you going to say, Sean?
You heard all those nervous laughs in there, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of
yeah, I'm one of those people. Yeah. Yeah, I'm one of those people. That was Moser from Channel 7 that asked the Josh Moser. Yeah, that was Moser that asked it. Billy Shaw, thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. He says, thank you, Big O and Sean. It's nice to see so many eating crow with Tua. Best is yet to come. Salty Tua, baby. I love Salty Tua. Salty Tua is the guy. You know why Salty Tua is cool? Because Salty Tua believes in himself. That's why. Salty Tua doesn't back down from challenges. Salty Tua is not afraid of the fourth quarter. Salty Tua is not afraid of coming in a national championship game when he hasn't played. That's Salty Tua, the guy that just has got, cojones that don't fit in the damn stadium. He shattered all those narratives. Oh, he's not tough. Anybody going to say that anymore? It's just ridiculous, but I'm glad. It's all good. I'm just happy that he's having the success that he deserves, and I hope this is only the start for us Dolphin fans. I hope you guys get to see Tua have an entire career and a Hall of Fame career, and more than anything, I want him to bring a title to Dolphin fans. Big time. Not just for himself and all that other stuff, that personal stuff, but I want it for all of you out there. You've all been hanging in there for so long. You deserve it, man. Jordan made up stuff in his head to motivate himself to kill his opponents. LOL. Yeah, he probably did do some of that too. Sebastian says, oh, do you think the new TV deal? No, I already answered that. I answered that already, my man. You got to go back and no. Let's see. He's been showing us for 2 years. He bounces back from interceptions all the time. Dude's a straight up warrior from a not that long ago warrior tribe from Samoa. It's in his, I guess you mean DNA. Yeah. Shout out to Tuanon and the Tuaneers. We were all right along. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Us Tuanons were right on target. All right. Hour number 2 is done. Let's go to hour number 3, and we await Alan Poopart and our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines. If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys? Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Dolphins fans, time to get insight on your favorite team with your favorite reporter with an Expos hat. Sports Illustrated's Alan Poopart in our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, exclusively on a Big O radio show.
All right, we are back, and there he is, the man, the myth, the legend. That is Alan Poopart. And our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. How you feeling, bro? You feeling good?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Very good. Very good. So I want to see if I'm bringing I finally got Marcel to crack a little bit. So I'm going to see if I can get you to crack a little bit on this one, because most of you, all of you have kind of fought me a little bit on this.
Okay.
But the proof is coming out more and more and more, right? With Maria Taylor, he said, I'm keeping receipts. And then yesterday, the Moser was asking him about where he's improved, and he took a shot at everybody and said the deep ball. And I keep telling you all, he listens. He listens.
Of course he listens.
He's not, but everybody thought he was like, oh, just go play his ukulele, go home, family, this, that. Bullshit. He plays like this. He plays like a maniac because he listens to all the negativity that is out there, bro. It motivates him. He does the same thing that Michael Jordan did. That Michael Jordan just, sucked up every negativity in the world. Jimmy Butler does that too, by the way. So he's one of those dudes where people thought he might not be. He's one of those dudes.
Well, a couple of points here. Number one, the percentage of players who literally don't pay attention to what's said about them in the media, 5%, maybe less. It's completely so to believe that because somebody says I'm not on Twitter, so I don't know what's being said about me. If you believe that, I got land to sell in the Everglades. I mean, come on, let's get serious.
But he's been labeled like he's one of those 5%, and it's a lie
because he said it, and some people wanted to believe it, which was complete bullshit from the start. Second of all, this notion that he couldn't throw a deep pass to begin with was completely ridiculous. I'm not sure exactly why he's flexing now that he has Tyreek Hill, who gives him the opportunity to just chuck it more often because he's always open by 5 yards down the field. And if we're going to be very honest about it, on a lot of those throws, Tyreek has to make an adjustment, come back for the ball, and make the throw. So to me, if Tua is going to flex, I flex more about his third down passing where he's completely kicking ass.
Yeah.
His overall game to passer rating, which is off the charts, is outstanding, a lot more so than with the deep balls, where the deep balls are way more of a product of Tyreek getting open deep than they are of great passes. Now, and here's the funny part.
But he hits other guys for deep balls too, because he hit Waddle in the last game.
I was about to make that point. What I would say is, and this is an issue, I guess he's not used to Tyreek's speed just yet.
Right.
Practically invariably, when Tyreek goes deep, he underthrows him, and he's been bailed out by Tyreek making the play.
Although one of them this week,
hold on. Can I finish my point?
Can
I finish my point? Big O, let me finish my point. When he's thrown deep to Waddle, it practically every time it's in stride. So clearly there's an issue in calibrating exactly how far he needs to go with Tyreek Hill, which is understandable because the guy, no matter how fast you think the guy is, he's faster.
Yeah. But one of those this past week that people say, oh, no, he had to come. No, actually, he threw it in a 40-yard pocket because there was a safety coming that if he had actually threw it deeper, the safety would have had a play on it. And he actually dropped it in a 40-yard pocket. I don't know if you know the play that I'm talking about.
I know what play you're talking about. Or he could have thrown it to the outside where Hill was, where the second defender wouldn't have been a factor.
But deeper would have been a problem, actually, on that one pass. But you're right in general.
The placement. But, Oh, I'm sorry. Did you say I'm right?
Yeah, in general, about the deep ball, you're right about that. I'm not going to argue with that.
Can I record this? You're saying I'm right?
Everything is recorded, my friend.
Okay, cool.
Everything.
Okay. I'm going to record it and then play it every time I make
That's why they can all go back and see that last year and the year before, I said he'd be a Pro Bowl quarterback if you put the right people around him. They can go back and check it out. They can go back and check out that I kept saying the Dolphins will have one of the best front offices in the NFL. They can go back and check that out, bro.
Well, they're certainly not afraid to make bold moves, that's for sure. And they're not afraid to spend money, that's for sure.
Well, hey, bro, listen, when was the last GM you covered that hit on 7 of his last 9 first-rounders? You know what I mean? That's why I tell Dolphin fans, you can be confident now. Okay, you got a front office that found their
7 of the last 9 first-rounders?
Yes, sir. Ready? Tua, Tyreek, Chubb, Phillips, Wilkins.
Oh, you're counting trades. Okay.
Yeah, Wilkins, Minka, and Waddle, and he missed on Iggy and Austin. The last 9 since 2018. He has 10, but the idiot owner took 1 away. But he's had 9 first-round picks since 2018. 7 of them have gone to Tua, Tyreek, Chubb, Phillips, Wilkins, Minka, Waddle, and he replaced Minka with a second-round pick. That's a first-round talent. But he's missed on Austin and Iggy, okay? That's it. So when was the last time you had a front office that hit on 7 of their 9 first rounders? They found a quarterback. It looks like they found the coach that understands offense in the NFL pretty damn good in today's world. And if Tua's talking about, hey, man, we feel good about our team, we can be a contender, I tell Dolphins today they should also feel confident. This isn't the hollowness that you've had with Ricky Williams or the Ronnie Brown or the Jay Ajayi year or the Lamar Smith year or something, that you had, a decent offense led by a running game, but there wasn't really the substance you needed. Now you got something to play with here, Dolphin fans. I think you got a front office, you got a coach, and maybe you got a team that can actually make some noise. Should they be confident or not?
No, obviously, I don't think I'm quite ready to stamp them as much as you are, because to me, there's still a couple of hurdles that need to be cleared with the quarterback before I fully know. Dude,
you don't believe in him still? You don't think he's
at this point? I am, but we're also still in early November. Let's talk again. There's no need to rush for judgment. Let's talk at the end of the season. Let's talk in mid-December. Let's see how he plays at Buffalo. Let's see how he plays at New England.
I'm not worried about that.
Let's see how he plays.
I'm more worried about the left guard. I'm more worried about the secondary. I'm more worried about some other things. I kind of feel good about the quarterback.
Okay.
That's just me.
No, and again, based on what he's done so far this season, you have every right to be. To me, it's like, okay, there's no need to rush to judgment. They don't have to make a call on him, dude. With this contract situation, they have him under contract for next year. They have the 5th-year option for 2024. They're in no rush to make a long-term decision. So let it play out and see how it is. Right now, everything is gravy. But again, he has yet in his career to show that he can, put together a really strong game in a cold weather situation or in a playoff, because they haven't been to the playoffs yet. So
right.
Okay.
Well, they haven't been in any of those situations while he's been here. It's this year that they finally became an offense that he can actually fall behind 21 points or beat the Buffalo Bills, which, by the way, it wasn't so. See, now the new one is, well, let's see what he does at Buffalo now, because before it was, let's see if he can actually beat Buffalo. Well, he beat Buffalo, and now
the team beat Buffalo. Again, it's not just about Tua. The team beat Buffalo, and it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing as winning at Buffalo, because there the elements are a factor. It's not the issue of beating the dude. I told you before the season they beat the Bills. So the issue to winning at Buffalo is going to be a hell of a lot different situation, because who knows what the weather is going to be on December 17th? Because to me, it's almost a slam dunk. That game is going to wind up being flexed to that Saturday night.
Yeah. They probably, if they're pretty smart about that. That's going to be a highly viewed game. So I'm with you there. All right. What is your grade on the trade and the contract? Let's go with both.
Okay. I'm going to start with the contract, which is awfully pricey for me, for a guy. And again, it's 2 out of 5 years. He had 2 significant injuries, ACL, and then like ankle surgery. And then whatever.
Well, this is the 3rd year, and he has 5.5 sacks. So he's on his way to having maybe possibly 3 out of 5 good years.
Oh, no, correct.
Okay.
No, the dude's a player. There's no question. In fact, there's somebody out of Denver who said basically the only concern with him is the injury situation. But again, if you're going to play that game, you could say that there's a concern about injuries with anybody you sign. It's a very rich contract. The guy's a very, very good player. I have less than zero issue with the package they gave up, because the 1st-round pick with San Francisco is going to be in the 20s. You're not going to get a player as good as Bradley Chubb at that spot. Zero issue with that.
And you swap 4 and 5s, which the way these guys
and 3 years down the road on top of it.
Yeah, but at least you'll get a pick. And the way these guys draft, I'm good with that. I'm not worried about it.
No, it's the picks and the only pick that's consequential is the 1st round next year. And again, I'll gladly take Bradley Chubb for that 1st round pick next year. Again, the contract's a tad on the pricey side for my taste. And somebody made a very good point, actually. I think it was Andrew Brandt, saying making the trade before agreeing to a contract extension gave Chubb all the leverage in that negotiation, because obviously the Dolphins didn't want to give up a 1st round pick for a rental.
Well, but I would imagine that the parameters to the deal were already agreed upon.
That's very
on the
possible.
trade.
Yeah, that's very possible.
And all they did was just hammer out the other points, the workout bonuses and all
Well,
that
that's fair. That's fair.
kind of stuff. You know what I mean? That's probably what it is, because that's probably why you agreed to the trade, because the parameters of the contract were agreed upon. That's all.
Oh, no, that's also a very good point.
Yeah, yeah. And so
No, that's a very good point. You know what? Actually, I will backtrack and I'll tell you you're right. And absolutely, that's a very good point. No, it's a good trade. The pass rush was not getting it done, which is another reason why it's a very good trade. And again, it puts them in a position to be able to make a push this year on top of securing a really, really good player for the next 5 years as well. So
yeah, and I think what they're trying to do, Poopart, is that they know that their secondary's a little bit shady because they've got some young guys back there with X. X is not 100%. You lost Brandon Jones. I don't know if Byron's ever going to come back this year. And so all of a sudden now you maybe need to improve your pass rush to kind of hide what goes on back there. So you add a monster to go along with the other two. And I think Jalen's playing pretty well, actually. Ogbah's the one that I think needs to pick it up a little bit. And maybe now with Chubb there, that creates so much attention now that it's going to free one of those three up on a consistent basis.
no question. And if you look at some of the past Super Bowl winners, one thing that you see as a common refrain is the ability to rush the passer with four guys. And the perfect example, the 2007 Patriots said nobody could stop it. The Giants stopped them because they rushed four and they were getting to Brady. So that is huge.
They had a fifth guy. Remember? Because he took over for Strahan. What's the name? They had a fifth guy that was their rotating guy. They had five guys in that four-man rotation.
They had O.C. Yumanyare, and I don't remember the other two. I know Tuck's the one who was a complete monster in that 2000s.
Yeah, there was. It's a young guy that took over for Strahan when he left. I forgot his damn name now. Damn it. Maybe
but
something.
But you understand the importance of being able to rush with four, and they're not close to be able to do that right now with pre-Chubb.
Right.
That sounds funny. Pre-Chubb.
Pre-Chubb.
That sounds funny.
Yeah, they were kind of flaccid. I get what you're saying. It's all good. It's all good. We definitely understand what you're saying. All right. Shell, is he staying at right tackle? What do you think?
Why wouldn't he?
I'm not arguing. I got to ask you. I mean, my opinion is it's his job from here on out. And Austin Jackson, you might be the swing guy or the backup left guard if Jones doesn't get it done. That's what I'm looking at.
Dude, he's not even practicing yet. So I mean, who knows how long we're looking at with Austin Jackson. And
they activated him. It can't be that long, right? It's probably another week away.
Not season ending, but a doctor reached out to me in a direct message on Twitter, basically explaining to me that if it's indeed a high ankle sprain, those things could linger for a while.
Oh yeah.
And that if that's indeed what he had, and Mike McDaniel kind of let it slip, used that term. He literally said that high ankle sprain or other ankle issue, which looked to me like he basically told us what the issue was with Austin Jackson and caught himself and wanted to make it more nebulous. But if it's a high ankle sprain, who knows when he's coming back in the lineup? And there's zero reason to remove Brandon Shell at this point.
Yeah, high ankle sprains are a bitch, dude. They get re-aggravated really easy, dude, because it is so unstable. It is a brutal. I think you were the one that said it a couple of weeks ago. You'd rather have a broken bone almost than a high ankle sprain sometimes.
That wasn't me, but that makes sense. No, because it's like you said, you'll re-aggravate that thing like in a heartbeat, especially for an offensive lineman who has to like anchor and like really like dive into the ground with their feet like that, and they can get rolled up so easily. Yeah, it's a bitch of an injury for an offensive lineman.
Short yardage situations, Ingold Wilson, right? That's what I'm expecting to see, the I formation behind Tua and the handoff to Wilson and the hammer in front of him, opening up a hole behind Connor or Armstead and the boys, right? I kind of can envision that already.
That's the other part of the trades they made. I'm like, Wilson over Chase Edmonds is such a massive upgrade. I mean, I love Jeff Wilson. That guy's a player. And to get him for a 5th round pick, woo,
joke.
Oh, love that move. I mean, And it's funny now they have like 3 of their 4 running backs were teammates together in San Francisco in the training camp 2019 before they cut Savon Ahmed and he wound up over here. But no, I love the tandem, the Mostert, Jeff Wilson tandem at running backs.
Can I tell you what I like most about that? What's the track record right now of the 3 San Francisco players that came over? How have they adjusted? Really nice, right?
Sherfield, Mostert, you've all done a good job. Yep. Is
Right.
that it? Only those 3? They don't have any other Frisco players?
I think so. Maybe I'm missing one. I'm sorry if I am, but at least.
But those 3 have done really well. Yeah.
My God, dude. So obviously, you have to give the head coach a ton of credit. Yeah, I know Chris Grimm made the trade, but obviously it's the coach saying, I want that guy, I need him, he fits my system. And then obviously, boom, you bring him over. So that's the one thing I also like about it that I think I told Dolphin fans yesterday, that you have to understand that they have had a really nice track record of, okay, no, I bring this guy over, he will translate into my system. And to me, that's huge because he's playing this week, and I'm sure he'll have a package this week, and I'm sure he'll be part of the short yardage package. So that's the other thing that makes me feel good about it. While we have our, we could say Chubb's a great move and it's got to work out and all that. Well, those people haven't worked together. Jeff has worked with Mike. So I feel really good about that acquisition.
No, it was a fabulous pickup. I mean, had you told me before this week, would you swap Chase Edmonds for Jeff Wilson? I'd have said in a heartbeat. I mean, in a heartbeat. No, I think it's like somebody asked, like, if Jeff Wilson going to play this week after arriving Wednesday? I mean, of course he is. It's like for him, it's like he mentioned that there's some language that's a little bit different, but it's basically it's the same offense. So there's no reason that he not only should play, but he should play a significant amount. Hit the ground running, so to speak.
I just think what I'm really happy for the offense is Mostert has not had a complimentary back, and there's something about Ahmed and Gaskin that still doesn't convince these guys, obviously, no matter whatever we think of Gaskin or Ahmed. And by the way, you nailed it that it would be Ahmed over Gaskin. Good call by you. But outside of that, they haven't been sold by either guy. So clearly this is why this move was made, because Mostert, you can't give him more than 15, 16 carries a game. You've got to get that complimentary back. Perfect guy.
No, correct. And McDaniel's looking back at kind of like the system he had in San Francisco where he had multiple backs. And it's funny because we didn't really necessarily think about it at the time, but the Christian McCaffrey trade at the time where it was double trouble for the Dolphins now because they had to stop McCaffrey when they play at San Francisco. And it was going to hurt the value of that first round pick. Well, we don't have to worry about it anymore. 49ers can win the Super Bowl for all we care. Dolphins don't have that pick anymore. And getting McCaffrey basically created a surplus for the 49ers. And then Jeff Wilson, as I had heard earlier, and as he confirmed today when he had a press conference, basically went to John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan and asked them to trade him because he wanted some opportunities to run the ball. And he figured that wasn't going to happen with McCaffrey. And lo and behold, I asked Wilson, once you made that request, did you have like in your mind, like I'm kind of a wish list of places to go? Because to me, if I'm Jeff Wilson and I asked to be traded from the 49ers, what better spot for him than this?
No, there isn't.
He didn't bite. He kind of just said he was focused. He wasn't thinking about it. He was just focused on doing his work for the 49ers at the time. But clearly it's a perfect fit and perfect match for both sides.
And let me correct you on something here, my brother. Okay. The Niners cannot win the Super Bowl if the Dolphins are there. Okay. So if the Dolphins are not there, then yeah, you're right. You're right. We don't care if they win the Super Bowl. But if the Dolphins are there, we care. Okay. I just want you to know.
It becomes 31st, and my point remains that it's only giving up the 31st, and it doesn't matter anymore.
I don't want to, Dolphins, Niners over Dolphins. No.
My bad. I go to the Bucs and I feel shame.
There you go. All right. What are you working on alldolphins.com so folks can check you out? Because, why am I going to ask you for a prediction? What, are you going to pick the Bears?
No, the Dolphins should win. No, I know. I was in the middle of writing something about Teron Armstead. Spoke to him today about it's actually very interesting. Amazon did a conference call with its analyst this week, and I hopped on it and asked Andrew Whitworth about Teron Armstead. And like practicing only once a week, and everything that goes into it. And he gave me a great answer. Basically, it doesn't matter. Dolphins should basically shut him down. Just make sure he shows up on Sundays. And I asked Armstead today about, if he's cool with the practice, the routine of practicing once. And Armstead wants no part of it. Armstead wants to practice. So I'm, excuse me, I'm losing my voice. I'm wrapping up that story there. I did a story on Bradley Chubb and his comments from the press conference. And I did something updating the contract status of every player on the roster, along with an early outlook of the pending UFAs. And I believe my number was 21 or 22 of them next spring.
It's quite a bit.
It is quite a bit. There are not that many frontline players. Though.
Names, right? Yeah. Wilkins is the most important one, I would imagine, in the offseason. That's the guy you got to bring back.
Well, they have his 5th-year option, so he's already under contract.
No, I know, but you want to that's a big number.
Sure.
You got to rework that number. So they're gonna do a deal with Wilkins, I would imagine, this offseason.
I would imagine he'd be one. I would imagine Zach Sealer's another one that did that.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those two some bitches, they better come back, bro. Those are you love those guys, bro. Those guys are such impactful players for this team. The guy that needs to still that hasn't gotten there yet is Raekwon Davis. That's the guy that hasn't gotten there yet on a consistent basis, like Wilkins and like Sealer. Those guys are just down in and down out, where Raekwon is still a little uneven. By the way, how is he? He had to leave a little bit also. Is he all right?
I don't believe he's even on the injury update. And if he is,
he got banged up a little bit last week, but
but he went back in the game. So no,
right, he went back in. Right, I know.
The only two who didn't practice today were on the 53 are Austin Jackson and River Craycraft, whose situation is weird because he was fine all of last week, shows up on the injury report Saturday with a neck injury and is ruled out. Then come back yesterday, he's on the injury report now with an illness, nothing about the neck anymore. And then today again, he was out with the illness. So who knows what's going on there.
All right. Bad luck for the guy. He's had a rough week and a half there, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Follow him on Twitter at Poopart NFL. Catch his work there at Sports Illustrated. Make sure alldolphins.com. You officially become a Dolphin when you bookmark alldolphins.com. That is the law. I'm just saying, if you don't follow the law, then, you're a lawbreaker. You don't want to do that. Alldolphins.com. Bookmark it. Alan, we will talk to you post-game, my friend. Next week, my friend. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. And
you do likewise.
You got it. There you go. The great Alan Poopart and our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report with Sports Illustrated's Alan Poopart. For additions, home remodeling, and custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is your custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
By the way, I'm going to get right back to the football talk just 1 second. But I just want to say quickly about the Kyrie Irving situation. Kyrie Irving, for me, is a disgrace. Okay? He's a clown. He's an idiot. He's kind of a punk, I think. He does a lot of stupid things. I know he does some good things behind the scenes, but the irresponsibility in the last week and a half with this whole thing of retweeting and promoting a film that is as insulting to our Jewish community as it gets. And whether he knew about the film or didn't or whatever, and his stance on it, and how he thinks he's above reproach, and that, he questions people that question him, and all this kind of stuff. This is the moron that retweets Alex Jones. Okay? Let me just repeat that. This is the moron that retweets Alex Jones. The guy that thought Sandy Hook didn't happen. And then he retweets about a movie that insults the Jewish community at every level, that even says that the Holocaust did not exist. It did not happen. This is the kind of shit that goes on, that it's a problem because we have people who are literally either crazy or hateful who will then ride this wave. In the last year, haven't I talked about this? About Hasidic Jews who are being completely attacked in Brooklyn? I'm sorry, where does Kyrie Irving play? Brooklyn. Go to my Twitter feed. I tweeted out a story just for it. And so this is a guy that the NBA should ban. The NBA should suspend. The Nets should suspend. Should just say, get out of here, get away from us. We don't want anything to do with you. I don't know of how anybody of the Jewish religion would want to go support the Nets at this point in time, to be quite frank. And the fact that he has no balls to take responsibility for his actions. And it just seems to me like he probably tweeted out before even watching the film and really knowing everything that's in it. But then after you realize everything that's in it, you don't backtrack completely from this. You don't have a real apology like the commissioner said. And this can't be a world where we're spewing hate about any religion, anybody's sexuality, anybody's nationality, anybody's color, anybody's sexual preference, none of that stuff, dude. Because all you do is fuel the hate from other people, and you make it. Hell, after some of this stuff came out, remember those Nazi guys stood out on a highway, and it's like, this is what you feel. This is what you fuel. This has happened in all kinds of walks of life. In the political world, it's happened too, where they're fueling hate. So we got to stop this. And Kyrie Irving's part of the problem, not part of the solution. But I also want you to know that this is a guy that cannot be defended in any way, shape, or form. This is a man who retweeted Alex Jones. That's a crazy man. Okay? That guy is out of his mind. And so is what Kyrie Irving needs is help. And what people need to do is keep him away from their corporations, because he's not a guy you want representing any corporation whatsoever. This hateful crap should not be accepted at any level, for anything, for any religion, for anything. Just really irresponsible. All right. Just want to get that out because I saw that. I know I'm getting closer to the end of the show, and just want to get that off my chest because it's just shameful what goes on with that dude. All right. When sports and business collide, there's something we like doing. We like talking about the KSDT Sports Business Report. John, you're going to be depressed. You are. I'm telling you. Saturday's highly anticipated game between number 1 Tennessee and number 3 Georgia now has the most expensive regular season college football ticket on record per online ticket marketplace TickPick. The number 1 Tennessee Volunteers taking on the number 3 Georgia Bulldogs. Get in price $626. Most expensive ticket $5,233. Sean, I think it came right out of it's out of your price zone. You wanted to go to this now by just a couple of dollars. We are going to start a GoFundMe page to get Sean Stanley into the Tennessee, Georgia. It's a joke, by the way, folks. He's a UM fan. It's a joke. Relax. We're not doing anything, okay? No, but I mean, it's out of control. It was 197. The tickets that are 626 now. And the most expensive tickets, the 2 middle sections in the 100 level, those are the ones going for $5,233. By the way, there are tickets for Metallica in a couple of days that are going for $10,000. I was looking it up, and there were some like for 3 and 4 and 5. And my wife's like, who's going to pay for that? I go, you'll see. Somebody will pay for that. There are people that have money, and it's like they're big Metallica fans. And if you know anything about that concert's a once in a lifetime because they're only playing songs from 83 and 84. God, I can't wait for that show. That's in a couple days, by the way. I've got that show coming up, man. Can't wait. What is it, like the 8th or the 9th? When is the Metallica concert? I think it's the 9th, right? Let me see here. There we go. Let me look at it here just to make sure. The 6th. There it is. Apparently. I think that's it, right? Yeah. Yep. It's the 6th. Yeah, is the 6th Monday? Well, today's the 3rd. No, it's Sunday. No, that's a day game. Chicago's a day game. 1 o'clock. Huh? Oh, that's like at 8 o'clock. There's an opening act and everything. I'll be fine. I'm 40 minutes from the place. I'll be fine. Dolphins, don't go into 3 overtimes. Nah, but we'll be fine. I'm not worried about that. We'll be able, so we'll do this the show on Sunday, and then we'll go to Metallica. Whew. What a Sunday for me. Watch the Dolphins kick the Bears' ass, then kick ass watching Metallica jam. I love it. I love it. Oh, by the way, that is your KSDT CPA Sports Business Report.
This has been the KSDT Sports Business Report. KSDT CPA is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax and accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit online at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
I love this. Eric in DC says, this is nonsense. Poopart doesn't want to make a call on what he thinks Tua could do until he sees him do it. I have eyes. I can see for myself afterward. What kind of analysis is this? Poopart is, he's very deliberate, okay? He doesn't really go out on a limb like I do. I'll go out on limbs that people won't go out on. That's kind of been my whole life doing radio. I got to go out on limbs and things like that people aren't going to do. But I usually go out on limbs that I feel pretty good about. You know what I'm saying? Because usually when I go out on that limb, I'm usually right. Actually, I have a pretty good batting. 300 gets you into the Hall of Fame. I'm probably up where Chris Greer is right now with his first rounders. Probably like 700 right now, 800 batting. He wants to wait. He wasn't a Tua basher, but he wasn't a Tua believer either. Okay, and he was like, "No, I got to see it. I got to see it. I got to see it." And that's just the way he rolls. We're all different, dude. Now, I'm willing to go out on a limb that I don't think Tua's ever the problem. I've said that for a couple of years, and he's proving me right now that he's not the problem. If they're going to make a Super Bowl run, let's just say this. I'm more worried about the secondary. I'm more worried about the offensive line. I need a running game that's consistent. I'm really worried about special teams. I have not been impressed with the special teams. Those are the kind of things that I need to get, straightened out. I'm not worried about the quarterback. But that's fine. Lots of people have been worried about the quarterback. I've never been worried about the quarterback. The only thing I ever worry about the quarterback, what do I tell you? The injuries. That's it. And what have I told you? He's got to take care of himself. That's the only thing I ever say. Outside of that, I don't really worry about any of that stuff. Very true. There are videos I remember back in 2014 of Jews getting sucker punched in New York City. Very sad. No, go look at it this year. They're just getting it to like Asians. It's the same thing since the coronavirus thing. We've had these people that are hateful, and they look at Asians in our country and they blame them for maybe whatever went on in China, which is like absolutely stupid, hateful, disgusting. We can't do that stuff, man. We just can't be walking up and beating the crap out of people just because you don't like their religion or how they look or what country they're from or what sexuality or whatever it is. The hate that we see all the time for the LGBT community and people from that community who get assaulted all the time just because they're not like this person or that person. That's the stuff that's got to end. And every time we allow anybody to be spewing that kind of hate, it fuels those hateful individuals because then they feel justified. And that's disgusting. So you can't have Kanye saying, I'm going DEFCON 3 on the Jewish community, and you can't have Kyrie Irving retweeting, a hateful book and movie. You can't. That's the stuff that cannot exist for any community. And we have to do something about that. That's it. Poopart is awesome. He has all the right to wait. I was just like him, not a basher, but not a believer. Though I've changed to a believer. I can understand why Poopart isn't ready to cross over. That's fine. Like I told you guys, who am I going after? The absolutes. I never heard that from Poopart. Poopart never, ever said Tua can't play. Poopart never said he can't throw deep. Poopart never said any of that. He just said, I don't know yet, man. I need to see from the kid. That's it. I don't mind that. I think that's fair. What I mind is the absolutes. Those are the ones that piss me off. Oh, he's too lazy. Oh, he can't take tough coaching. The captain stuff. Remember that was he's afraid to be captain. No, he wasn't afraid to be captain, you idiot. Did you see now? You learn now that Flores wanted you to campaign for it. Like, how stupid is that, dude? So these are things, that's what bothered me. Michael Lombardi. Oh, they fired Flores for a QB that can't play. Now I'm going to crush you, Mike Lombardi, for the rest of your life. That's it. So those are the people I'm going at. I'm going after the noodle arm guy or girl. I'm going after the too short guy, the too lazy guy, the not tough enough guy, the not smart enough guy, the one read guy, all of that stuff. I'm going after that person. Those are the people that will get crushed by me. Okay? And, like the other one. Oh, no, you screwed up. You should have picked Herbert. No, you're not. That's not looking like the smartest decision right now, right? Even Marcel now is coming around. Well, I got to say, he's outplaying Herbert. No shit. Really? He was already winning more than Herbert when he didn't have talent. Now he's got talent. Of course he's going to outplay Herbert. Those are the people I'm going to go after. Oh, no, Chris Greer can't draft. Well, I'm going after you now. I'm going after you because you didn't even allow him to actually do his job. You didn't even allow the players to develop. How many times did we have to hear about the 2020 draft? Like all these people, like, look, as much as I got nothing but love for Joe and Zach and those guys, I used to hear them whine like little bitches about the 2020 draft. You know how wrong those guys are about that draft? Like, that's a great draft. They don't even need Austin Jackson and Noah. It's a great draft. You got a starting guard, a starting defensive tackle, a starting strong safety, and a franchise quarterback. Sounds to me like an exceptional draft. I wish in every draft I got 4 starters. Not backups, not good role players. No. You got 4 starters. That I go after the absolutes. That's who I'm going after. Right? Those people that were convinced, even though they didn't have all the proof, they were convinced. Even though there were more proof, there was more proof against you, you went against it. So we go after the absolutes. And I don't mind. Now, Poopart isn't allowed on the bandwagon, okay? Because he didn't believe from the get-go. He had to wait to believe. Don't fly with me. You got to wait to believe. No. You got to get on. You got to get on with faith right from the get-go. So I tell all of you out there, get on this bandwagon. Let's go. Have faith in this quarterback. Have faith in the front office. Can't wait to see this revamped team, Big O. As a 24-year-old fan, seeing the Dolphins go all in like this is extremely exciting. Well, Martin, you deserve it, man. A lot of you young fans, you're my favorite fans. All you fans that are like 35 and under, you guys are my favorite fans of all the Dolphin Nation because you have nothing to root for. You never have had anything to root for. You don't even know what good Dolphin football looks like. You've never even experienced it. And you're there all the time. I love you all out there. The older fans like me and Sean, we've seen the good days. So I get it why we're still here. But the young fans who had no reason to get on board, but got on board, who had no reason to stay on board, but stayed on board, who are incredibly passionate and following this show and every other sports writer and all that stuff and following the team or going to games or watching games or whatever. I love your passion. I love your freaking passion. It's what real fans are all about because at least I have great memories and Super Bowl winning, Super Bowl losing, great quarterbacks, players. I have so many freaking amazing memories that can carry me for a lifetime. I would want more, by the way. I want new ones. But at least I have them. Whereas young people, they don't have anything except what they told them they used to be. They never lived it. They have to go watch it on YouTube or something like that. And I've said it 1,000 times. I want winning more than anything for young fans because that's the only way our fan base is going to grow and have a better fan base and a stronger fan base. We need to win, bro. It's hard to find you people. You loyal people. You 35 and 30 and 25 and 15-year-olds that are here with the Dolphins year in and year out through all the suffering. I am very impressed. Very impressed. Fabian Festa says, I remember how many years when it was 3rd and 6 or longer, how scared I was. That's why Dolphin fans have always loved their punter. Big O is the Dolphin priest. He blesses nature bee as a Eucharist and wine as Edge energy drink. I'm 31, 91. Let's go. My favorite Dolphin source. Thank you, sir. I want those memories also, says Cap for Life. You'll get them, bro. You'll get them. You'll get them. Big O, with all the injuries, is it time to question the strength coaches? No, it's just bad luck. I've heard that before. They have great doctors and they have great trainers on this staff. I know some of them. I know their history. I know their track record. No, man. Look, people make mistakes in all walks of life, on all teams. But what's gone on this year is simply bad luck. That's all it is. Has nothing to do with conditioning. It's just terrible luck. Sometimes you have good luck, and sometimes this is what happens. What are you going to do? Panthers tonight at 10:30, taking on the Sharks. They're at the SAP Center. Is that like SAP? Is that what really it is? Really? Yeah, it is called the SAP Center, but I have no idea if it's the SAP like from the TV. You know what I'm saying? I have no idea. How about the Astros yesterday blanking the Phillies 5-0 on a no-hitter and 4 pitchers? Javier goes 6 innings, 9 Ks. Then Abreu, Montero, Presley. They go 3 innings and 6 Ks. Impressive. Verlander tonight against Syndergaard, 8:03. You saw Verlander just sold his Beverly Hills home? So they're moving out. Moving out. Did you see they made Joe Flacco the number 3 quarterback for the Jets? So they moved Mike White up to number 2 behind the Milfer, Zach Wilson. And I got to tell you something. I don't think Zach Wilson can I don't think he's going to become a good quarterback in this league. I've been on that from the get-go, and maybe I'm wrong or whatever. But there's a part of me that wants him to kind of survive just for the MILF stories that are coming down the line. You know what I'm saying? Just for the MILF stories. I just kind of find that humorous. I enjoy that. I'm childish like that. I can vicariously live through that. Plus, I think those of us that kind of like those stories, we milfed it ourselves, is what I'll say. Okay? Because when I was like, I think it was 18, I was with a milfer. I remember for a little while, 2 milfers for a little while, back-to-back milfs in the 18 range. One was like 31, and the other one was like 37, I think, something like that. And it's a great experience for an 18-year-old. I'll tell you that. Great experience. So that's why I kind of have a soft spot for Zach Wilson, not because I actually think he can play. It's just because I kind of lived that experience myself years, decades ago. Zach the Milfer. Heat Fins, 23 years young, are ready for all the 305 sports to dominate. By the way, have you talked about the new manager for the Marlins? No, I have not. I know he addressed the media today, but it's Groundhog Day. There's nothing to talk about with the Marlins until you actually make a real commitment. Can you find players? Can you sign them? Can you find bats? Will you spend money? Doesn't matter who the manager is. I wish him the best, but he doesn't have the help from management. And until management is willing to help, I mean, what have we talked about the University of Miami football team? For years, I've told you they're going nowhere. Why? Because they don't spend any money. And sure enough, they weren't going anywhere in today's big-time college football. Well, now the administration changed their ways. Now they're spending money, and now they have a couple of big-time boosters that are also helping out on NILs. Well, now the results should change. So over the next couple of years, you should see them getting back to being one of the best teams in college football and challenging for a national title. If they don't, then Mario Cristobal is not doing his job. That's it, because Mario Cristobal has everything he needs to succeed. Every other coach before him over the last 15 years did not have what they needed to succeed. We don't know if they were good enough, even if they had it. But right now, Mario's had good enough success at Oregon that now if you give him the things he needs, he better have success. It's the same thing with the Marlins. You cannot expect any manager to have any success big time with the Marlins unless you get the management to help you out. And unless the front office knows how to unearth talent and find bats. So, Skip Schumacher, I wish you the best. I will be rooting for the Marlins. I will be watching. But until further notice, this is nothing but Groundhog Day and the same shit over and over and over again. Prove it to me. Prove it to me that you actually really want to win. Prove it to me that you're capable of winning. Not only that you want to win, but that you're capable of actually accomplishing it. That's it. So, can't do anything about Schumacher. It's nothing. It means nothing. R. Castel 6 says, I trust when you say Dolphins in Super Bowl, but they're the Miami Dolphins. Hey, man, listen. They got a team now that can challenge. Is it going to happen? I have no idea. But at least now I feel good about a team that can actually do it. Whereas for 20 years, for 30 years, I haven't felt that they're a team that can go to a championship or challenge for one. Right now, the way the AFC is structured, why not? Why can't it be them? I don't see. I saw Cincinnati get there. I think Miami can do the same thing. So I'm going to stay positive on this. I'm going to enjoy it, like I've been enjoying this season. Only when Tua's out is when I'm not enjoying it so much. Big old coincidence. Keenan Allen has been out all year, and Herbert has sucked. No, but Herbert is a great quarterback, Jason. He's a franchise player. He's supposed to elevate others. You know, I mean, that's not an excuse for him. I mean, nobody gave excuses for Tua for 2 years. They never talked about his coaches. They never talked about his lack of talent, no running game, there's no Austin Eckler there. There was no Mike Williams. Then he finally got Waddle his second year, but he didn't have any other receivers. So if you don't want to give Tua any realistic reasons, not excuses, I don't know. I can't give big, bad, beautiful Justin Herbert any excuses or any breaks. Why should I? Nobody gave Tua any breaks. My first memory of the Miami Dolphins was watching the Super Bowl between the Dolphins and San Francisco back in '84. That was a rough night. I had a rough night, that one. That one hurt, bro. But they were better. It's not, you don't sit there and regret that game like we could have won it or anything like that. San Francisco was a better team, period. That's why they won. They were just more complete. They actually had a defense. Miami didn't have a defense. When Jay Brophy, give me a break. All Finn's losses this year were a result of ending the game with a different QB than the one we started. That's understandable. Exactly. There is more loyal Dolphin fans in the Bahamas than in South Florida, it seems. No, man, we got a lot. I love the Bahamas do have a lot of Dolphin fans. That is true. It's very true. They love their Dolphins in the Bahamas. No, but we got a lot here in South Florida, man. We got a lot. We got our fair-weathered ones and all that, but we got a ton of really good fans down here, man. Really good fans. And not all of them go to the stadium because all of them cannot afford to go to games. It's super. And let me tell you something. You're no better of a fan just because you go to a game and somebody else doesn't. Let me just tell you that. Okay? If you travel to a game, you're not better than the guy that's watching it in Washington. You're not. Okay? There is a Dolphin fan in Mexico, and he's just as good as the guy that's got front row in the 50-yard line. Anybody that follows their team, watches their team, roots for their team is a great fan. Period. Through thick and thin. We sit there, we can complain and bitch about the bad times, but next week we're back. We don't give up. And I don't care if you're in Malaysia or you're in Miami or you're in New York. I don't care where you're at. You're a great fan. What you spend on the team doesn't make you a better fan. There are tons of people that don't have the access to get here. There are tons of people that don't have the money to go to a game. That does not make them a lesser fan. When you're at a game, you're just a more fortunate fan that you get to be there and enjoy it. But the guy that's at home watching it on the ticket or watching it on his phone at work, he's just as diehard as anybody else. The guy that buys a shirt is no different than the guy that buys a ticket. The woman that buys a hat is no different than the woman that's in the suite. So to me, the sign of a great Dolphin fan is one that sticks with their team no matter what. They can bitch, they can complain, but they're never going to leave their team. That's the sign of a great fan. Not what you spend. Okay? Some of us have, better opportunities than others. But your passion and your heart is all the same if you're sitting in Barcelona, Spain, watching the Miami Dolphins, or you're in Guadalajara, or you're in Montreal, or you're in Kansas City. I don't care where you're at. It's all the same. Great fans are all over the place. We got a ton of them down here, man. Got a ton of them all over the world. Rob Budd says, I live in Toronto and have to go scrap it out with the Bildo fans. It's always fun. I have to get down to Florida for a game. See, Rob can't be here all the time. Does it make him less of a fan than the guy that's at the 50-yard line? Hell no, dude. Rob's a great fan. And I think we all show when we're great fans by sticking with our teams, by being like Rob, going to a bar that has other fans, by showing up to a game, by wearing your hat or your shirt on a day after they lost. You know, that kind of stuff. That's the real fan. You can't win a Super Bowl until you get a QB. You know, you will win the game regardless of physical gifts. We got one now, finally. Big O, that was not what I meant. I meant for all the Tua haters, any player on the team, I would pull for them. I don't care how much a player sucks. I'll pull for them. Yep, I'm with you too. I never believed in Tannehill. Not 1 second. Still to this day, never believed in him. Definitely pulled for him. Definitely wanted him to succeed. Never thought he would because it's not in his DNA, but definitely rooted for him. Cleo Lemon, I knew, and John Beck couldn't. Those guys were really bad. I got no choice. I got to root for him, bro. I got to root for Jerry Wilson, even though he can't cover my grandmother. That's how it goes. Let's see. Josh says, does it make me a bad fan of giving up my season tickets? Again, can you afford them? Did you make a decision because financially you're doing some... Doesn't make you a bad fan, dude. Are you still watching? I know you, Josh. You're a hardcore. You and the wife are super hardcore. You don't have to go to a game or anything like that to be a hardcore fan. So that's my point, that I don't believe you have to... What you spend money on dictates on how good of a fan you are. No, that's just a blessing you have. Doesn't measure who you are as a fan. All right, we're out of here. We thank Sean Stanley, as always, getting it done, mastering this program and the entire platform. We thank, of course, the Brunetti family, Frank Fiore, and, of course, Steve Calabro. Man, he didn't show up to give us some of the wise guy picks. Maybe I'll get him off him tomorrow, and I'll pass it on, because the wise guy's been pretty hot the last couple of weeks. So I was hoping for some wise guy picks. All right, let's wrap it up here on the program. We thank Alan Poopart, Marcel Louis-Jacques, and of course, all of you that either tuned in, you supported us by reaching out to our sponsors, by the way, or of course, you dropped in a super chat or on Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. You can always make a donation. Remember, we love the Bitcoin donations on Cash App. That is always my favorite. We'll see you tomorrow, live from the studio. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Have a great one.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.